Let's get nasty on a Thursday. It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with Kerry Davis and Andrew Marsh. I'm Anthony Stalter. We're at 2:03. Your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. Jamie Rivers will be joining us from 3 to 6 today. He was supposed to see, well, he don't know, but Seattle.
Oh,
yeah, he's supposed to join us for the entire show, but he made up some sort of an excuse. Got himself out of the first hour of it. This is where Jamie's at right now.
What happened?
Jamie, we don't know.
Okay.
Apparently ripped his pants.
Life happens.
And need to go to the tailor and I guess.
Life happens, Anthony. You know?
Whatever.
My pants.
Whatever. I think he ripped his pants last year in Seattle too.
You guys ever ripped your pants?
I feel like I have.
I've ripped a pocket.
I think I ripped the zipper, which is actually might be worse. If you rip the zipper and it doesn't zip anymore,
then really what's the use at that point?
But if you're at the event, it's kind of late.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah.
I've definitely ripped the pocket, like you catch the your pocket on something and have it rip. I've done that.
I've definitely ripped the pants right in that under spot.
Have
you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
I have.
Yeah.
I was at the gym one time. This was years ago. I won't mention the gym name, but they started to go downhill.
Faulty equipment?
Well, no, I was in the sauna, and I went into the sauna, and I sat down on the bench. Again, I don't think they were taking care of the place at that point, and like a nail had been sticking up on the wooden bench. So I got up, and my sweatpants ripped in the back. This is the last time I worked out there.
Wow.
I'm like, to hell with this place.
I did one time on a
tetanus shot
at a like a carnival or a fair. I was with my kids in San Diego, so my youngest daughter had me get on one of these small rides, and I'm cramped in this seat. And when I stood up, right in the middle. And so we couldn't leave. So my oldest daughter had a sweatshirt. I had this tie sweatshirt. We were there for a few more hours it was a breeze, man.
You had stuff hanging out?
Yeah, man. It just ripped right down. I was like, oh, no. Yeah.
That's a good dad, though, man. You stayed. You did what you could.
Oh, I wanted to go home, trust me. But, kids, man.
Go ahead.
I was going to say the 980 says that Jamie's been working on his glutes, getting ready for another summer of Speedos. So
probably.
Maybe that's why they ripped.
Yeah, Mike Ryder brought up a great point. Mike Ryder is our executive producer. Basically, he's in charge of the whole place, and without him, this whole thing would fall apart. But Ryder brought up a good point. He goes, he likes to keep those pants extra tight. His shorts and his pants are extra tight, so I imagine he's probably ripping them for, consistently. Yeah. Talk sports. Okay, we will. The Blues last night get it done. They tried to give the game away. They were attempting to, but Joel Hofer, with one of the saves of the year in overtime, I really thought, I don't know how you guys said, when you were watching that game last night, when he made that terrific save on the breakaway, on the one-on-one, I don't know if it's technically a breakaway, but it was a perfect open shot. Mm-hmm. He makes the save, and then he puts the puck down and feeds it right back to the Canuck player. I go, this isn't good. I thought he was going to bury that thing.
How about the other 3 goals they scored, though? You didn't think that was good?
No, not that I thought that was good, Marsh. I just figured, after the save, this is how it's going to end. They blow the lead. He makes a remarkable save. He puts that puppy back on the ice, and I thought he's going to bury it right behind him.
What I thought was ironic that Braden Shen ends up scoring earlier in that game, and it gets waved off because of a cross-check in front of the net. And then he cross-checks Pedersen right in front of the net. No call. Ends up getting the game winner.
Yep. Hey, no big deal. That's how you get it done, right?
Yeah. Why did he put the puck down? So, I get you're trying to go fast. You don't want the play to be stopped, but you got to take control and take care of.
He must. I don't think he saw him.
Did he just, he
was excited. Gary made the save.
Got it. Here you go. Oh, no.
Here you go, guys. Go get him. That's
wrong guy.
That's the wrong blue jersey now, isn't it? Yesterday we had the discussion, though, about the Blues not wasting the victory from the previous night.
Yeah.
That's why, there. You got to win in OT. You know, you get 2 points. Stinks that you had to go to overtime to get it when you were up 3-1, but who cares? You got back-to-back wins against quality opponents. This is why I said yesterday it would erase what you did in Calgary the night before. I don't care how you win. You got to win games. It's January what now, guys? 25th. It's January 25th. It's not November 25th. It's not December 25th. It's January 25th. You're almost to February. You have to stockpile victories. It's not about how you win, how you lose right now. Mm-hmm. Not when you are a team that's 24-20-2 and trying to make the second wild card.
Yeah, you got to keep winning. And when we talked about it yesterday, I didn't want to hear the excuse, oh, it's back-to-back. You know, guys are tired. No, they actually showed up. Now, as you said, they gave the lead back and almost tried. That last goal that Hofer gave up, he looked like he died on the ice. Like, when it went in.
That was tough.
He just kind of laid there like.
He made the initial save.
It hit the post. The first one hit the post, and then the next one, you know, they bouncing around, and it finally goes, and he's just like, oh, my God. You know guys care. But
sure.
you don't want to give up that lead. But fortunately, they were able to fight their way back in, claw their way back in, and win that game, which is the most important part. Mm-hmm. I didn't want to hear about it being a back-to-back. We're tired. Oh, it's a long season. Do you want to win and make it to the playoffs or not? And I think this stretch is showing, yeah, we do. Now, keep going. The 3 games, can you win 4? Can you win 5? Can we get more? We're greedy.
Well, that's the only way. But okay, we're greedy. You're right. But that's also the only way that they're going to make noise at this point. You have treaded water to this point.
Yep.
You have to start compiling games. The opponent doesn't even matter. I feel like we've had this discussion a couple of times where it's like, hey, this stretch of games, are we going to find out about our Blues? Win. Mm-hmm. Win games. Do it in stretches. Get on a streak. I don't care if you compile victories against Columbus and San Jose and the rest of the dregs of the NHL. I don't care. I don't care if you do it against Tampa Bay and Florida and Boston. Mm-hmm. Great. Even better.
Yep.
But if you lose against Columbus and San Jose and
Chicago,
it doesn't matter.
Right.
Like compiling wins and points are the only thing that matters at this point.
I wonder if right now is, and of course we've been looking for this team to start stockpiling wins. Mm-hmm. However, they only have a few games left until the All-Star break. I wonder if that will hurt them if they start to get on a little bit of a run here. They take on the Kraken and the Kings coming up, and then they have the Blue Jackets, and then that's it. And then we have the All-Star break. And then after the All-Star break, you have 2 games. I won't call them easy, but you're taking on the Sabres and the Canadiens. 2 winnable games right there. But then your next opponent is the Maple Leafs. Then you take on the Oilers, who seems like they can't lose a game these days. You have the Predators. That's a huge Central Division matchup. Then you take on the Leafs again, the Islanders, the Red Wings, the Jets, the Oilers, the Wild, the Flyers, and the Islanders again heading into March. Those are tough games coming up and very important games. So I wonder if they can go on a run here. I wonder if the All-Star break maybe slows them down. I'm not too sure, but they have a huge schedule coming up, and that's going to decide whether or not Doug Armstrong wants to sell at the deadline or if he's going to be a buyer, or maybe they just stand pat.
Put the pedal down, man. Now it's time. Put the pedal down until the All-Star break. Then you get yourself a nice little break.
Much needed.
Yep, and then go from there. And yeah, you're right. Doug Armstrong's got to figure out whether or not he's going to sell off some parts here. I don't think he's going to acquire parts. I don't know how much flexibility he has. Maybe a little bit. Maybe you get,
what are you
a
going
role
to?
player.
What can you get rid of?
At this point, I like the balance. Yeah, you're right. I don't know who you're going to.
I don't know that it's.
Let me answer your question. I don't know. I don't know what you're going to be able to sell off.
Well, I wonder, and this has nothing to do with the deadline, but Justin Falk not playing last night. The team.
He's hurt.
He has to be. Yeah. Like he had a maintenance day. Maybe that's because.
Maintenance because he's hurt.
Yeah, I was going to say back to back. You want to give him some time off, but why, right? Probably because he's still injured.
Exactly. So, and I don't have any inside information, okay?
We're just assuming.
Let's just use common sense on this. He's hurt. He didn't look right the other night. Didn't, like you said, maintenance day. He's hurt.
He's been hurt.
He's been hurt.
He was hurt when they brought him back.
You're either hurt or you're injured.
Yeah, you can play when you're hurt though.
So maybe he's injured and he's trying to play hurt.
Because when it's injured, when you have an injury, oh buddy, let me tell you, I've had plenty of those.
Mm-hmm. But that's the thing with this decor, right? If you are injured, there are guys that are stepping up. Marco Scandella, we talked about him yesterday. He's been playing better, right, than what we've seen in previous years. It seems like he's healthy. He's going. Scott Prunovich back in the lineup. So I wonder how long they take this with Justin Falk.
Scandella probably doesn't get any more time out of the lineup based on
I can't
how
imagine
well he's playing, and they lost the 3 games he didn't play, and then they came back, and now you win 3.
Right.
It's a little bit of superstition involved in that.
You got to keep the same lineup going.
Yeah. DeMarco told you all, you got to ride the hot guy.
Yeah, he was interesting. Talking about that. Yep. Let's move on. That's Kerry Davis. That's Andrew March. I'm Anthony Stalter. It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. We're gonna kind of do a mic drop theme today. So the mic drop theme is: are you excited about the upcoming Cardinal season? Are you excited about it?
Pumped.
You seem pumped.
I'm pumped.
You seem real pumped. Yeah. What makes you excited? Or are you kind of like, meh? Are you in wait and see mode? What gets you excited about the Cardinal season?
Matt Carpenter.
If anything. Leave us a mic drop here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. The Chargers got themselves a new head coach, and so do the Panthers. We'll talk about both hires next, and we'll tell you one of the more surprising reports that we saw coming from a good source here too, good NFL insider, big one. Bill Belichick might not have a job here. That's next on 101 ESPN.
I don't mind riding a hot guy.
So, at first I thought you were joking about what's going to get us excited because nothing. The Cardinals haven't done anything to make me excited. They haven't brought in the people. They haven't done anything. I mean, if they start doing something this year, I'll start to get excited. But do you remember last year, the you up calls that we kept getting? I'm not doing that again.
So that was Ed. No, we're not joking. We didn't say what's going to get you excited, Ed. We said, are you excited? Like, are you going to the mall later?
Ed, they signed 3 pitchers, one being Sonny Gray, who was ranked in the top 10 of Major League pitchers by MLB.com. 3 pitchers.
Mm-hmm.
What did we lack last year, Anthony?
Pitching.
And what did we get?
Pitching. Ish.
What are we going to do? Pitch and win games.
Win the NL Central and get bounced in the first round?
Just get in.
Yeah.
That's all you got to do.
So there you go. That's why we're excited.
That sounds exciting.
Why are you excited?
That means I get my
Or are you excited?
back half of October. I can take off.
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, you're good, Marsh.
Yeah, I'll
you're
take
good.
a vacation.
Yeah, you're fine now.
Good.
Got to be.
Really they're doing you a favor.
Yeah, but
Think
that
about it.
first week, though, of October, I got to make sure I'm here and dialed in.
No doubt.
But, you know, second week.
See you later. Oh, that's sad. I don't like joking. All of a sudden, I feel sad in my heart. I don't like joking around like that. Yeah, so are you excited about the Cardinals season? This is a very easy mic drop, you know. Ed decided to take it in another direction, but I think what Ed's saying, if I can speak for Ed for a second, is that no, I'm not bleeping excited about this team. So
You think we'll get the you up text this upcoming year?
They stopped. So, Carey, last year, anytime the Cardinals got on just a little small run, I noticed that Marsh and Jamie's attitude started to change.
Okay.
Like, my attitude didn't change.
Okay.
It's piss poor as usual. So I'm always angry. But Marsh and Jamie, their attitude started to become a lot more optimistic. So what I realized, Carey, is that they started to receive you up text from the Cardinals.
Oh. What did the text say?
Exactly
you up?
that.
Question
you
mark.
up.
2 a.m.
You up? Question mark.
Big win, right? Big win on a Thursday afternoon.
Did they ever win on a Thursday? Actually,
They always won. They always won like 12-2 on a Thursday afternoon game.
They dropped the first 2, then they would look like world beaters on a Thursday afternoon. You're right. So I started to realize, like, yeah, these guys are getting you up text. Mm-hmm. Which is, okay, it's fine. But these guys are responding to the you up text. Like, I got them once, and I shot back a text that said, "Are you kidding me?" And then they stopped texting me and started target Marsh and Jamie. But yeah, they're gonna send them out. Cardinals are gonna send them out next year.
You got to be looking forward to this, man. It's Cardinal baseball.
Yep. It's a Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. So yeah, that's our mic drop theme throughout the show today. Are you excited about the Cardinal season this year? Chargers fans are really excited about the hire of Jim Harbaugh, as well they should be. Mm-hmm. This was, I mean, we don't know what Atlanta's going to do, Seattle's going to do, Washington's going to do. I'm willing to wager, Kerry, that this is going to be the best hire of this cycle. He has won everywhere that he has been.
Yeah.
And win, of course, is relative. Like, did he win a Super Bowl with the 49ers? No. Did he win a national championship with Michigan? Yes. Mm-hmm. Did he win a national championship at Stanford or San Diego State? No. Mm-hmm. But relative to where those programs were, and relative really to where the 49ers were when he took over,
correct,
they all won big. Relative to the expectations of the program or the team.
Yeah.
He's going to win again. That's just what Jim Harbaugh does.
They're going to, one thing I can tell you about that Chargers football team is they will be more physical than they have been in the past. They will be tougher, both mentally and physically. They will look a little bit different than they have, over the last couple of years. I think you lean so heavily on Justin Herbert and Keenan Allen and what those guys can do. And when healthy, if Mike Williams ever were able to stay healthy, they would be outstanding. But they haven't been. You're going to see a team that's going to – I don't know what happens with Austin Eckler. I don't know if he fits the mold of a Jim Harbaugh running back / the type of offense that they want to run. Because they're going to run between the tackles. They're going to play hard-nosed, downhill, run between the tackles, get guys open downfield, and defensively they're going to make plays. They're going to tackle well. We saw that in the national championship game from that Michigan defense.
Big time.
Tackle well. And the Chargers, people are so high on the Chargers because they say, oh, they got Justin Herbert. They got Justin Herbert. Yeah, they got Joey Bosa over there as well. He's pretty damn good. They got guys. Khalil Mack is there. They got guys that Derwin James, who is an all-pro safety. They have a great defense as well, and they do things. With Jim Harbaugh being there and the mindset that he's going to bring, that is a team that can put a lot of pressure on the Kansas City Chiefs in that division to be the front runners for that division and be the lead dog in the AFC.
How about that division, too?
Oh, man.
You've got Andy Reid. You've got Sean Payton. You've got Jim Harbaugh. And then you've got Antonio Pierce, who did a great job with the Raiders. He clearly had his locker room. So that division's going to be absolutely stacked.
Yeah.
The Panthers also found their guy in Dave Canales, who was the offensive coordinator for the Bucs. So he comes over to Carolina. Carolina was not going to be able to make a splash. There was not going to be a head coach that was going to go in there and have it be a name. Given what Dave Tepper, the owner, was demonstrating, and some of the reports coming out of Carolina that he's a bit of a dictator, he's a bit of a wild card, they were going to have to hire somebody that was willing to just take the job because it's one of 32, and they may not get opportunities. Like, let's just be real about it.
Definitely didn't think you were going to put tater on the end of that word.
I could have left off tater. Both apply.
All right, yeah.
Both are applicable.
Yes, they are. It's a hire. We'll see how well it goes. I mean, it's a younger coach, first opportunity to be.
Do you know how I know you have no faith in it? Because you go, well, see how it goes.
We'll see how it goes. I don't know.
Jim Harbaugh, they're a tackle well. They're going to be physical. They're going to be.
I can't tell you enough about Dave Canales to tell you that I have confidence in him being a great leader of men. Because at the end of the day, that's what it's going to boil down to. People get so enamored with, oh, we got the hottest OC hired to be our head coach. Oh, we got a great defensive coordinator. One thing about coaching offense and being the O coordinator, you're only dealing with the offense.
Yeah.
When you're defensive coordinator, you're only dealing with the defense. How do you mesh when you have to lead the entire team? What type of leader of men are you? Are you able to get guys going in the right direction, doing all of the things that they need to do, and be the best of themselves so that you can win football games? I can't say that about Dave Canales because I don't know. I don't know one way or the other. So it is a wait-and-see approach. And you got a young quarterback in Bryce Young who didn't have a great year last year. How are you going to build around him? Because he ain't going to be able to do it by himself. So first-year head coach, second-year quarterback, trying to put the pieces of the puzzle together to help him succeed. How does that happen, and who do you get to help him do that?
Yeah. And can you hold others accountable?
Yes.
That's what Jim Harbaugh does. Jim Harbaugh holds his coaching staff accountable. He holds his players accountable. And by the way, Michigan reportedly is set to hire Sharon Moore, who was the offense coordinator who did a remarkable job under Jim Harbaugh. So Moore is going to be named the Michigan football coach. So it looks like they're going to have an internal guy come in and just step right in, and good for them coming off the national championship. That's the other aspect too that we didn't discuss. One other thing here, which yesterday we had this conversation. I said, it's still going to get done. Bill Belichick is very diligent in what everything he does. He's very diligent, wants to take his time, want to make sure it's the right fit. But it makes too much sense that for him to go to Atlanta. It does. That's going to get done. I felt that way until ESPN's Adam Schefter, where he said, he didn't even report it, he said he believes former Patriots head coach Bill Belichick is not the favorite to land the Falcons head coaching job. Do you know of any other spots that he has even interviewed at?
No.
Maybe the Chargers? Did he go to the Chargers for a second?
I think he did interview with the Chargers.
Maybe interview. Other than that, I don't think he's interviewed with Washington.
But Washington was one of the teams earlier in the season that people were saying if Ron Rivera gets fired, that could be a landing spot for him.
Sure.
Before he got fired, before Ron Rivera got fired, that was a team that kept popping up.
Yeah.
So maybe there's we haven't heard about. I don't know. We haven't heard much in terms of other than Atlanta because he interviewed there twice.
Right.
But Atlanta has interviewed everybody.
Everybody.
You need it. I thought about calling down there. I played for him.
Sure.
Sending my resume, seeing if they
Hazelwood Central, baby.
see what you can get.
Marsh is just going to be you and I at some point.
It might just be you because I'm over here doing some stat stuff. Yeah. I found out that the Cardinals were actually 6-8 on Thursdays this past year and gave up 74 runs and only scored 59.
They didn't win all Thursdays. They're terrible on Thursdays. All right,
In
fair
fact,
enough.
they lost 14-0 against Houston on June 29th.
Okay.
That was probably the worst loss they had.
Okay.
And
So we take that back.
Yeah, not good on Thursdays in the back half of September.
They played well
Or
on.
August. There had to be odd day. I'm pretty sure game threes they were okay at.
That's
but
like the
maybe it's just
getaway day for
relative.
the opposing team. Though.
Yeah.
Like they're like that's when they rest their guy. They got the series. They won 2 out of 3
Right.
either way.
But hey, you know what? They beat the Dodgers in May, 16-8 on a Thursday. So
Hey,
how
there
about
you go.
that?
One of their best wins on a Thursday. Yep. So we'll see. Washington, Seattle, and Atlanta, those are the teams that still need head coaches. And there's still Belichick out there. There's still Vrabel out there. Raheem Morris is still out there. Ben Johnson, who's the OC for the Lions, reportedly he's got the Washington job, but who knows?
Why haven't we heard anything about Eric Bieniemy?
Why haven't we heard anything about Brian Flores?
That's a very good question. Hey, very good question.
That one makes less sense to me than Bieniemy. Bieniemy waited all that time to get out of Kansas City, not to be a head coach, but an OC.
Yeah.
And I had brought this point up to you before. They could have fired Ron Rivera, who was dead man walking middle of the season,
And gave him an opportunity.
And they didn't.
Yeah.
So there is something there with Bieniemy that we're not privy to. But they're telling us that he is not a head coaching candidate. But Flores, who did a really good job in Miami before all the Tom Brady stuff started to come about and whether or not he was mishandling the quarterback situation, then it went sideways and he was suing the league. And all.
Yeah.
But Flores is a damn good coach.
Yep.
And he did a remarkable job in Minnesota as the DC. I haven't seen him interviewed. I haven't seen him going on any interviews. No. So that one actually makes less sense to me than Eric Bieniemy. It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Again, the mic drop theme of the day. Are you excited about the Cardinals season? We'll take more of your mic drops and also discuss how long the runway is for, since we just talked about coaches, how long is the runway for Oli? That's next on 101 ESPN.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update. Driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Blues pick up a victory last night in Vancouver, a 4-3 win over the Canucks. They'll be back in action tomorrow, taking on the Seattle Kraken. Pregame starts at 8, puck drop is at 9, and you can catch all the action right here on 101 ESPN. We'll talk with Chris Kerber at 3:15, so stay tuned for that. Once again, Blues Kraken tomorrow right here on 101 ESPN. Tonight, we have the Heat going up against the Celtics. Pregame starting at 6. And then on Sunday, after the Blues and Kings game, we'll have 49ers and Lions, the NFC Championship game, with the kickoff at 5:30. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff. Find new roads and shop 24/7 at londoff.com and londoffautoplex.com. Are you kidding me?
I cannot wait for the season. That means no more cold temperatures, summertime, take the kids on vacation somewhere, no school, build all the summer memories. It's a lot of fun going to Cardinal games in the summertime, especially with the earlier starts and such. All in all, also some Raising Cane's. Cannot ever leave that out in the summertime. But as far as the Cardinals, we'll wait and see with the lineup that they've constructed. Go Birds.
That's our guy, Andrew, who on Dunk's birthday every year always leaves us some Raising Cane's, so we appreciate that. I do like how he listed everything about the summer in a question about what are you excited about when it comes to the Cardinal season.
Sounds like a teacher. He said the summertime, no school. Like that, you know.
He said vacations, trips, nice weather.
And then he
Nothing
said the
about
lineup, we'll
Cardinals.
see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
So that's our mic drop theme of the day today. You can participate. The mic drop feature on the app, completely free to you. What are you excited about? Or are you excited? Let me rephrase that. Are you excited?
Andy from the Snake Pit says, well, they won't lose 100.
No.
So
No, they won't. They won't lose 100.
Maybe they'll win 80.
They're going to win 85, according to Fangraphs.
I think they'll win between 80 and 85. I think they're an 80 to 85 win team.
So they're no longer a 90 loss team.
I don't think they're a 90 loss team again.
Okay, well,
no.
Let's start there.
You have to factor. Okay, but in all seriousness, you have to factor in that the final. I mean, that was brutal at the end there. They were playing.
Anthony, it was brutal in the beginning and in the middle.
Did you watch the games?
No, who watched the games at that point?
At the end, how the hell were you still watching? I stopped.
Exactly.
It was brutal.
But
all the way up until the
check
end.
out some
For
of those
me,
lineups in September. Like, of course they lost 90-plus games.
Well, yeah.
Hey, they were waving the white flag at that point. They'd lost Donovan. Tommy Edmond was banged up. Dylan Carlson was probably banged up.
Are you not a fan of Kirikyuto?
And Taylor Motter.
Come on.
I was a fan of Richie Palacios.
He was playing well.
I can't wait to watch him this season.
He's going to be an all-star.
Rolling the outfield there for the Cardinals. I think he's got a lot of...
Anthony, he got traded.
He's going to be great.
No, he's not.
He was traded.
I think, obviously he's going to be maybe a fifth outfield, but he'll work his way up. He'll be starting for the old Redbirds.
He won't be here.
What's that now?
They traded him. They traded him.
For what?
A pitcher?
Oh, great. Excellent. Awesome. As long as they didn't trade him to the Rays, I'm sure that pitcher's going to be good.
That's where they traded him to.
What?
For a pitcher. Relief pitcher.
Well, you know what? He'll probably be here in August, around the time of August 6th through the 8th, as the Rays take on the Cardinals here at Busch Stadium.
Yeah, he'll have 3 home runs in 3 games.
Do they stand up and give him a standing ovation?
Oh, yeah. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Of course. Of course the BFIB is gonna give you a standing O. How long is the runway for Oli? I think he gets the full year unless it's an absolute disaster again. But I don't think it's going to be an absolute disaster again. I think the Cardinals, the old risk-averse Cardinals, have done just enough to righten the ship, but not do much else. So understand what I'm saying. If you are very pessimistic and you're ticked off and all that stuff, you may have only heard what I said before, which is that they have righted the ship. Understand what I'm saying here. They have righted the ship. That doesn't mean they're ready to weather the storm, get past it, and get to the other side and collect a whole bunch of treasure. All right? They've righted things.
Okay.
So I don't think it's going to be a complete disaster. If it is, then yeah, I think Oli might get let go midseason, like we saw with Matheny back in the day.
Well,
Other than that, I think he gets a whole year. Kerry.
I think not going into the season with another year on the contract, you're basically win, stay, lose, go.
Absolutely.
I think that's essentially
which I think
what
is
it
fair.
boils down to. Yeah, I mean, I think people tend to forget how the team was really good a couple of years ago. They won 90 games.
One good year, one bad year.
So which one are they? Which one is he?
I don't know.
They won 93 in 2022, and then they lost 91 in 23. And so I think we tend to forget quickly because last year was so bad. And, Oli's terrible. He took the team to the playoffs the year before as a rookie manager. So I hope we see more of that version of him. But this is a make or break year. And I think he understands that. I think everyone in the organization understands that because there have been no talks of a contract extension. At this point, if you don't have a successful year, and by successful, I mean winning your division and making it out of the first round of the playoffs and hopefully, at bare minimum NLCS, that would be where you say, okay, now we're going to re-sign him to a 3-year, 4-year deal. But if you start off shaky, I don't know that they fire him mid-season. Because what are you doing? Where are you going to go at that point?
Right. And a lot of people may be screaming, well, Yachty. You don't know if Yachty wants to be a full-time manager at that point.
Can I because I don't think people understand the amount of time associated with being a coach or a manager of a collegiate or professional team. It's way more time than it is as a player. And not nearly as much money if you are Yadier Molina or one of the superstar players that have made hundreds of millions of dollars in their career. It's not the same. And so the notion that, some people have that in them. They want to grind. And I'm not saying that Yachty doesn't have it in him, but the expectation that it's just turn on a switch and now I can go from playing to coaching or managing in a year time and not have that time off or not have that time to process.
Sure.
It's a completely different animal. And the amount of time when we would leave practice, we would get there at I remember I got to the practice facility one time in Tampa, went into the players' lounge, turned on the light, and Monty Kiffin, he slept there. That's where he slept that night. In the team meeting, John Gruden is I ain't been asleep yet. And it's 7 a.m. What the hell do you mean? You stayed here too? Anthony, this was in the preseason. It wasn't the regular season. What are y'all doing?
Yeah.
So there is a level of commitment to being a head coach or being a manager or being an assistant coach that takes a toll on people. And not everyone is you just can't turn on a switch and say, go do it.
Well, hopefully we're at the point, though, like midway through the year that this isn't a conversation and this team can be within striking distance of winning the division or being one of the best teams in the league. Now, will that happen? We'll see, right? But I wonder if Yachty sort of, kind of floating around in the organization still, if they were to move on from Oli midway through the year, I wonder if they'd give Yachty just a little stint of being the manager and then circle back at the end of the season and be like, hey, is this something that you could see yourself doing full time?
Yeah.
If so, let's move forward then. If not, then let's move apart. But we'll give him that opportunity on a limited amount of time.
Yeah, and it's not just that's an interesting thought. It's not just the day-to-day grind of working with the team. It's answering to the media twice a day. Before games and after games. And from what I've known with Yachty is he hasn't always been the biggest fan of the media. So dealing with a media scrum before every game and after, doing a press conference, that is part of the job. Mm-hmm. You can't just skip out on that every single day. It won't. It's part of it. So if you give him a little taste, then maybe it would be a situation where he says, you know what? This isn't as bad as I thought, or yeah, this is exactly as bad as I thought. I'm not going to do it. If it does play out that way. It's interesting. What's trending is next in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. I always like to kind of check in with people that are dealing with cars that they just hate at this time of year. You had the icy conditions earlier this week. You had snowy conditions last week. Now you're dealing with fog and rain. And if you hate your vehicle right now, well, head down to Auto Center Nissan Herculaneum. You might not be, no need to white knuckle it down the road every single day, knowing that you need a new vehicle. And at Auto Centers Nissan Herculaneum, they have over 700 vehicles. Not in multiple locations, by the way. Not on multiple lots. Oh, no. Auto Centers Nissan, they've got it at one spot. One spot out in Herculaneum. New Nissans and pre-owned vehicles. You can check them out at AutoCentersNissan.com. See what you like. Go down there, talk to their outstanding sales staff that make it a fun buying experience. They have great deals. They give you a 30-day return promise within 30 days. If you want to bring the vehicle back for any reason, they'll give you a refund on the vehicle. And they give you complimentary lifetime warranty. They got some great hot dogs, too. So if you go out there, whether you're out there for a new vehicle or just stopping by test driving, hey, grab yourself a hot dog. Tell them Stalter sent you. It's Auto Centers Nissan and AutoCentersNissan.com.
time to find out what's going on in the sports world with What's Trending Now. Brought to you by Goodwill. Donate a car and get tickets to the St. Louis Cardinals.
Welcome back to the Fast Line here on 101 ESPN with Anthony Stalter and Kerry Davis. I'm Andrew Marsh, and it's time for What's Trending. Gentlemen, Lamar Jackson, Christian McCaffrey, and Dak Prescott are finalists for the AP 2023 NFL MVP and Offensive Player of the Year awards. These winners will be announced February 8th. Also, Josh Allen and Brock Purdy are finalists for MVP as well. And Tyreek Hill and CeeDee Lamb are the other two finalists for the Offensive Player of the Year. Do we really need to get into this, or is Lamar Jackson the clear-cut favorite to win the MVP this season?
Lamar in a layup. Lamar in a runaway.
I think so.
Good seasons by the rest of the fine athletes. Great one for Lamar. Should win a second MVP.
And I talked about it. I think, he just capped it off. We talk about the Heisman moment for college players when they have that moment that solidifies them winning the Heisman Trophy. He had his MVP moment when he scored those 5 touchdowns. It was in that second to last game.
Yeah.
They didn't play the last game.
They didn't play the last game.
I mean, when they went out to San Francisco and beat up on those guys the way that they did. But that 5 touchdown performance for me is what did it. It's kind of similar to when he won his first MVP award, and they always show the highlight of him breaking that long run versus the Bengals where he spun out of a tackle and just took off. Those are the moments that stay in people's minds, and I think he performed well, and they were the number 1 seed. They've done a great job all year.
Yeah, I mean, keep in mind here, too, like some people may say, well, Tua led the league in passing. Jared Goff was second. Dak Prescott threw for nearly 1,000 more yards than Lamar. But, again, Lamar didn't play the final game. He had an 8.0 yards per attempt average. He also had all the rushing yards, 24 touchdowns to just 7 picks. And he led the Ravens to the number 1 overall seed in the tougher conference. He was exceptional this year.
He's outstanding.
So, yeah, Lamar for me, MVP and otherwise.
There was an article I saw talking about sophomore slumps with certain baseball players this upcoming year. Jordan Walker was on that list. Do you think, and I'm not saying he would be a sophomore slump by any means, but he is heading into that season. Do you think that Jordan Walker ultimately ends up progressing or takes a step back from what we saw last year?
Knowing what we know of the kid, I think he would progress. I think this is somebody that has always had kind of like that baseball DNA going back to his youth. Somebody that advanced at a very, very quickly through the minor leagues. I mean, he was going to skip over AAA before they sent him back down to kind of refine his swing a little bit. But this is somebody that seemingly works quickly. He diagnoses information quickly, diagnoses what's thrown at him quickly at the big league level. I think he's going to continue to progress.
I agree.
And the more reps he has in the outfield, the better off I think he's going to be there too.
Yeah, I agree. I think he showed a lot last season, and his ability to, even when he was sent down and being brought back up, not to. He's just a very confident young person, because when he got sent down, well, did you change anything? No. This is what I do. This is what got me here. He's a confident young man, and trusts his ability, which he should, because he got things people don't have, and you can do things when you're able to do something that other people can't. You do that. I've told people in times, when you got a guy that is God-given, you just get the hell out of his way. You don't screw it up. You just allow him to be who he is, and I think he has that amount of talent. So you let him be who he is, and I think he's going to have an outstanding sophomore season, as he did a pretty good rookie year.
We mentioned earlier in the show that Jim Harbaugh is now the head coach of the Los Angeles Chargers. This is from Brad Crawford of 247 Sports. He says that the Ohio State, their head coach, Ryan Day, is most likely to be the coach to win his first national title in 2024. Do you see the Big Ten and college football in general having a huge shakeup because of Jim Harbaugh? Or do you also Nick Saban as well? Yep. Do you think things change, or
is
Ohio State the front runner here?
It's our time. Big Ten.
Illinois. Illinois.
It's our time.
You confused me there for a second.
Sorry,
I
I know
thought
you
you were
forget.
getting. I thought you were getting specific, real specific.
Whoa. Like Illinois football.
That's what I thought he was going.
The
Slow down.
resurgence
Yeah.
in
Slow
one
down.
season.
Relax. Talking about the Big Ten. Yeah, I think they're going to be okay. I think, it's been a hard road trying to get past Jim Harbaugh the last couple of years for Ryan Day.
Yeah.
They wanted to fire the man for one loss. Like, get this guy the hell out of here. He's like
the only
he lost
loss-
like 5 games in his
It's the only
entire
loss that
career.
matters. It's the only loss that matters.
Get this guy the hell out of here.
He's the guy that has not been able to beat Michigan.
And
The
so-
one over
Yeah.
the last 20 some odd years.
It's frustrating for those Ohio State fans, but they should be okay.
I think this is so who benefits, right? Who benefits from Nick Saban leaving and from Jim Harbaugh leaving? I think Ryan Day is one of them. I think Steve Sarkisian, what he's doing at Texas, I think he's another that benefits. He's got Texas going in the right direction. We'll see what happens with Kalen DeBoer, who's now the Alabama head coach. Can he jump right on that gravy train? Kirby Smart is already he already showed that he can get over the Alabama hump.
Yeah.
There's one guy you're forgetting.
Let me think. Dabo?
No.
I thought about Dabo.
All right, let me think here. Are you
Lane Kiffin.
Are you joking?
You might think I am.
Lane?
I think Lane.
The Lane train? Okay. Dana, what's his face in Oregon?
Not
Altman?
No.
Not close.
Dan
Think closer.
Lanning is,
Dan Lanning. Dana Altman.
Altman.
Boy,
That's been a
that's
while.
basketball.
Think real close, Anthony.
drink.
Oh, yeah.
Drake. Yeah. Good
That's
call.
sad. That's kind of, see, you know what? Continue, Marsh. I won't say anything negative about the Missouri
You shouldn't.
Tigers.
Now, they got Alabama on the schedule this upcoming year. Who knows what that program's going to be?
Yeah. Yes.
Who knows?
Easy
Who
schedule
knows?
for the most part.
I think Mizzou's going to have a great year. I think they're have a great year. I think you talk about like Jordan Walker and what he's going to do. Mizzou, I think that momentum from the season carries into the offseason into the next season. They've got a very winnable schedule next year. I think they've got the talent.
They have to.
I am thrilled for Mizzou football right now. I think they're going to be great.
Because if you want to have sustained success, having the great year that you had last year, you have to stay on. You have to follow that up with another great performance. And I'm talking 2 losses or less, because that's what you had last year. Like, you shouldn't lose 2 games again. You should now be at 1 game. But if you lose 2, it should be to the tougher teams, the Alabamas. I think they play Georgia as well.
Yeah.
But those 2, if those are your 2 and only 2 losses, and you go, I believe they have to go. Do they go to LSU this year?
Let me look this up because I said yeah, and then I'm like,
I don't think they played Georgia.
I think they do play. I haven't looked
see.
at the schedule.
I'm trying to look it up right now. Hold on.
But either way, if your losses are to one of the premier teams, then okay. But you can't go out there and have a stinker.
So here's their schedule. They got Murray State, Buffalo, Boston College, Vanderbilt, Texas A&M, UMass,
That's a tough one.
Auburn, Alabama in Tuscaloosa, Oklahoma, South Carolina, Mississippi State, and Arkansas. They do not play Georgia.
They don't play Georgia or LSU.
No.
Good for them. So you should have 1 loss, maybe.
Who knows
at
what
bare
Alabama's going to
minimum.
be? If you're thinking Alabama,
Alabama or Oklahoma. Alabama on the road, you play Oklahoma at home.
I like Mizzou better than Oklahoma.
But if you come out of this season with 3 losses, that's problematic for me.
They're not going to have 3 losses. Don't even put it in the atmosphere.
man.
I'm sorry.
Ah,
I
sorry.
caused it.
I'm
Just
sorry,
like
Mizzou
every
fan.
announcer that says the kicker is 100% and then he misses one, then that's the announcer's
Yeah, he talked to everyone in the building, and they say they have full confidence in him
It's
to
his
make a
fault.
kick as that one goes wide right.
It's the wind. The Buffalo
clearly
wind.
the announcer's fault.
Jamie Rivers going to join us for the final 3 hours of the show. We'll talk about another Blues victory next with Jamie here on 101 ESPN.
I am not excited at all about this season. I'm looking forward to seeing what the rookies can do in their first full year. Aside from that, this ownership group, one pitcher away, even if it was another number 2 starter, a solid number 2 starter away from having enough arms to actually compete in the first round of the playoffs in a short 5-game series. You're 1 starter away, and your budget, you billionaire, your budget wasn't big enough to bust it for another $15 million, $20 million for one more starter? For what you would get in return for that 1 starter to get past the first round, into the second round, and maybe even into the championship series and possibly into the World Series with just 1 more starter? Come on, man.
That was Lamarck leaving us a mic drop for our mic drop theme today, which is, are you excited about the Cardinals this upcoming season? With Kerry Davis, I'm Anthony Stalter. 304, your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. Jamie Rivers joining us from the road as well. Jamie, you're shaking your head there throughout that mic drop.
First of all, Anthony, we all know it starts with a solid number 2. I mean, if you get off that, if you start that way,
yeah,
things are usually pretty good.
Typically.
And typically. So, just based on that theory, look, I agree that 1 more guy would have been awesome, but we all know that just wasn't going to happen. Mm-hmm. Like, I already think the Cardinals probably spent over the budget they had set internally to begin with.
Oh boy! I
think that they came to there had to have been one meeting between all of them where it was uncomfortable to where like, woof, this is testing the threshold.
So, I'm going to need a little bit more money.
Yeah, so getting another bona fide, top 3 pitcher in a rotation just wasn't going to happen.
No, it would have been nice. But guys, realistically, no.
We have to wait and see. You all have to take the wait and see approach, fellas. You try it out.
Oh, Mr. Spend It All is now wait and see.
Kerry, anytime we start talking about the Cardinals, I feel like you step on your soapbox and you're saying stuff that do you feel that way, Jamie? And Kerry's very wise, but I feel like he's like the wise old man, and he's just saying, "Here, guy, let me tell you something, youngsters."
Yeah. But then he flies off the rails.
Right.
And he goes and then he gets mad at owners and management
sometimes
for not having the right players.
Yeah, when they don't when I've seen enough, I've seen enough now. I ain't seen enough yet. All I can tell you is they did what they said they were going to do. If in your mind you assumed something else or greater, that is not a them problem, that's a you problem.
That's fair.
They told you they would get 3 starters. Done. Got your 3 starters. He didn't tell you which 3 starters. They just told you 3, and they got you 3. And you said, it's the old thing. Give me 3 stars. You get us 3 stars, I'll get you 3 stars. Cool, so I'll take it. Got your 3 starters. Not those 3 starters. I didn't ask for those guys.
I'll take one of them.
You got your 3 starters, and so now you have to wait and see. Now, if it stinks in the manner in which it did, I think it's more of a philosophical issue than anything else. Like baseball, all sports, analytics have their role in everything. But at the end of the day, they're people playing the game. And so you have to trust those people to do the job that you hired them to do. If not, I don't know what to tell you, because certain players, certain rules don't apply for certain players. Some players, that rule does not apply for them in that situation. And so you have to accept that. And as a manager and as a front office person, you have to say, hey, I know this is what the analytics say, but we're going to go with this guy because I trust this guy because he's going to be in the Hall of Fame and have a hat on a copper, whatchamacallit, one day. It's good.
The hat's copper, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All of it.
Were you talking about Mo in the Hall of Fame?
No, I was talking about one of the players.
I think he was. Yeah.
I thought for sure he was talking about a golden bow tie.
All right, Jamie, the Blues get it done last night. That got a little hairy there.
Was there ever any doubt? Come on.
There was when the Canucks scored on the old empty netter. But Joel Hofer makes the save of the year. Almost feeds it right back to him, but they get it done in overtime. That was huge. Coming off the Calgary game, that was huge. This is why I said yesterday that a loss would have erased what you did in Calgary, because now think about how much it means that you beat these last two teams back-to-back nights.
Well, although I won't agree with you still that it would have erased it, it does certainly make it nicer right now because you're 1 point out of a playoff spot. You have a game in hand on the Nashville Predators, and you're playing the Seattle Kraken, a team that is right there in the hunt with you, to where that looks like it's going to be a heck of a game tomorrow night. So the Blues have put themselves in a really good spot right now to kind of close out this part of the season because the All-Star break is looming right around the corner. And what you have left is you've got the Seattle Kraken tomorrow night, and then you have the Columbus Blue Jackets on Tuesday. And then that's it. And it's hiatus time for everybody with the bye week and the All-Star break to get like 10 days off away from playing games. Anyways, it would be huge to win both of those games, inch yourself back into the playoff picture. The LA Kings are falling. They don't even have a safety net. They are falling in the standings so badly. The coaches, there's rumors that he might get fired, and that's good. If you're the Blues, you're like, that's perfect. We want to see teams start to stumble because as much as we've been unhappy with the Blues this year, the huge stumble has not happened. And I think Doug Armstrong, for better or for worse, got ahead of it when he replaced Craig Berube. I think Doug Armstrong felt like it was time now to do it before we get to 6, 7, 8 games without winning or winless, to where you're just getting overtime points or things like that. Mm-hmm. So the Blues, although it's been a bit of a roller coaster, they've still managed to be steady and get themselves in a spot right now where they're 4 games above 500. They're a point out of a playoff spot. They had 2 games before the break. They're in a position now to jump back into it.
Jamie, can you talk to me about Jake Neighbours? I see a young man that he does not look like a young man at all. He seems extremely poised. He doesn't seem rushed. That pass that he made to Buchnevich on the power play, that seemed like a veteran player that has been doing this for a long time and extremely comfortable. Do you see that from him?
Yeah, I see a confident player. Kerry, you know how it is. Like, it doesn't matter how old the player is. If they're confident that they can make a play, then usually they're going to make it. Now, there are some bumps along the way. And look, Jake Neighbours, it's not like he stepped out of junior hockey last year and look at this phenomenon who's got 15 goals for us now. Like, he stepped out of junior, played, 9 games to 1 year, then got sent back down to junior, then came up, played in Springfield, got called up, got sent down. He's had some seasoning to go along with this. But what I love about this guy, he's a gamer. Every single time he touches the ice, he does something positive. Last night, let's go right back to the beginning of the game. Nikita Zadorov is an absolute mutant. I mean, a knuckle dragger out on the ice. He's 6'6", 235, and he's mean, and he's solid. Very first shift, Jake Neighbours finishes a good hit on him. 6 seconds into the game, he's putting him into the boards hard. And Zadorov, his head snapped back because he was like, who the hell just hit me? How dare they? But it was Jake Neighbours. Yeah. And so what Jake did in that moment was he told his teammates, hey, I'm ready to rock here tonight because I know that guy's a big dude, and he might come and rip my head off later. Doesn't matter. I'm here for it. And I'm also ready to go, so you guys better be ready to go. Who's getting the next hit? And that was the mentality. And then Jake Neighbours, he's a smart kid too, man. Yeah. Look at Anthony. How many years have we been doing radio together? 4?
Yeah, say for 4 months.
Okay, ish. I'll say ish.
Yeah, 4 years.
Okay?
Yeah.
How many times have I said, if you want to get rewarded in the NHL, you go to the front of the net?
Oh, man. Over, under 150.
Easily, right?
Yeah.
Probably
and I'd still take the over.
It's some people probably get nauseated hearing me say it still. Jake Neighbours
at this point,
exactly why I say it.
Well, at this point, and well said, I don't know if you say that more. I use the grocery store analogy with the Cardinals. It's a tie, tied for first. But no, you're right, though. You're right. You say it for a reason, because you see how it benefits young players like that.
Well,
just get to the front of the net. Good things happen.
The league now protects players. Like, you can't just rip a guy's head off in front of the net anymore. Mm-hmm. They used to be able to lay a cross check in the back of someone's neck and their ribs, slash them in the back of the knees. Like, it was war in front of that net. But it isn't anymore. Like, there's battles. Don't get me wrong. There's battles. There's big guys that try to move you out of there. But if you're hungry and you're willing to go to that area, you're going to get rewarded. So you add, for Jake Neighbours, you have the combination of the grit, the defensive awareness, the leadership capabilities, and he's got that offensive awareness. And he's way smoother than people think he is. Like, he's so, like, Kerry, you talk about that pass across the crease to Pavel Buchnevich. That's a skilled hockey play. It's not like he just smacked it over there. Like, he got the puck, he turned, he wanted to see if Pavel Buchnevich was open. If he wasn't open, he talked about getting a shot on net, get it up under the bar if you can. Pavel Buchnevich became open, so he made that pass across the crease. But because Jake Neighbours drives the net so much, because he's always down in front of the blue paint, because he scored the goal before, it opened up that play because they have to respect him as a goal scorer.
Yeah.
So I think Jake Neighbours is beyond his years when it comes to his hockey IQ. And I think that he's a future captain in the making. You know, whatever letter you want to put on his jersey in 3-4 years from now, I think Jake Neighbours wears one.
We'll continue this Blues conversation with Chris Kerber, voice of the Blues, next on 101 ESPN.
Seven-five 9313. That's 800-575-9313. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Hey, folks, you've heard me talk about classic air care, and there's a specific reason for it. When you have an issue with your furnace during the winter, maybe it's going to be the summer and it's your air conditioner. When you call on them, you know you're going to get great service. And you know why? Because this is a company that has saved other local companies. This is a company that when another company is about to go into business, they've actually brought their employees in. They've allowed them to keep their logos on their shirts. Sometimes it's the same trucks that you've seen. So they're doing a job to make sure that people that are used to servicing your area stay in your area, and those employees are valued. When the employees are valued, you know that they're going to return that value to you as the customer, and you're going to be taken care of because you're getting worked on by neighbors. You're getting worked on by people you're going to see at the local pub. You're getting worked on by people you'll see at the restaurant. They're your neighbors, and they care about your neighborhood. They care about you. That's the quality you get when you call Classic Air Care. So if you go to classicaircare.com, you can set up an appointment. You can call as well. You know when you call them, you are getting quality. So at this time of the year, we know nobody wants to deal with a furnace that's starting to go on the fritz, or maybe you just need it cleaned. Whatever it is, call the folks at Classic Air Care because you know you are going to be taken care of. It's not a fun thing to do to have to deal with it, so you know you're comforted when they come in to take care of it for you. Go to classicaircare.com. They are the great people that will take care of you and your family.
voice of the Blues, Chris Kerber, brought to you by Scott Lee Heating Company, a proud Mitsubishi Electric Elite contractor.
It's a fast lane on 101 ESPN. Jamie and I just became brothers, I think.
We just become best friends.
Did we just become best friends?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Certain kind of brother, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Kerry Davis, Jamie Rivers, Anthony Stalter, and we welcome into the program this crazy program. Our guy.
Focus. You're a pro, Anthony.
Our guy, Chris Kerber, who's an actual professional. What's up, Kerbs?
Fellas, sounds like you're off and running, which is good.
Yeah, no, we're excited about that the back-to-back Blues victories up in Canada, Kerbs. What a couple of nights there for the boys in blue or white, depending on what game it was. But when it comes to these back-to-back dubs, Kerbs, the one theme that you saw in both victories was what?
I just saw, I think, in the third period in Calgary and then throughout that whole game last night, you saw a commitment to game management. You know, look, I mean, that Canucks team is good. The other teams have good players. You're going to get chances there, and they're going to get chances. There's another team trying to do exactly what you're trying to do and to prevent you from trying to do what you want to do. But, you know, I saw things, and I'll go to this one specific example last night in Vancouver. The top line was on the ice with about 8 or so minutes to go in the third period, and 3 different times they got the puck to the Vancouver blue line and got the puck in deep below the goal line. They didn't try to make any special plays. They didn't try to do something crazy at the blue line that created a turnover and an odd man rush. And there's times when, for example, that line needs to be creative. There's times when you've got a little more freedom to be creative, but there's also times when there's just the smart play. And those smart plays add up over the course of a shift, and you take an extra 90 seconds off the clock, or 60 seconds off the clock. That's big down towards the end. So I think that's one of the details I saw over the last 2 games.
Kerbs, as I watch this season continue to progress along, I mean, I can't help but absolutely love Jake Neighbours as a hockey player. Just watching him out there do the little things day in and day out. And I just made maybe it's a bold statement, maybe it isn't, but I just told these guys before we got on here that I see Jake Neighbours with a letter on his jersey in the next 4 to 5 years for this hockey club. I mean, how impressed have you been with him?
I talked to somebody in management the other day that said that exact same thing. There's something. Cam Jansen and I talked about this in the pregame show last night, Jamie. When you get on, so for fans that don't know, you typically have 2 buses that go to the rink from the hotel. There's a bus. So for a 7 o'clock game, there's a bus that leaves maybe about 3:45, 4 o'clock, gets you to the rink, at like 4:15, 4:30. There's another bus that'll get you to the rink 2 hours before the game says 5, right? And a lot of guys take that second bus. But what you tend to see is players get older, the veteran guys tend to take that earlier bus because that extra half hour, 45 minutes of prep, 1, it's probably just a calming thing, but 2, takes a little longer to get the bodies where exactly they want to get them. When I see guys like Jake Neighbours, Scott Perunovich, constantly on that early bus, going over with the veterans, following the lead of Braden Shen and Colton Parayko and other guys, Nick Leddy, that's a sign. That's a sign of some very good things. Then you listen to his comments after the game. I sat in the room with him early in the season, and I pointed up to the Bobby Plager jersey that's hanging above the sticks. I asked him about it. His answer was unbelievable for a rookie, that was about to play his first full season in the National Hockey League. And then you look at him on the ice and go back to that. Go back to the game against who do we play? Just a couple. Washington. Go back to the game in Washington, and Tom Wilson, even though he had the shield, made a run on him. Jake got in his face at the end that clearly ticked off Wilson, had him running around. He went after Zadorov last night for a hit to try and steal the puck. You can't push this young man at 21 years of age out of the game. They have a terrific young player in this guy.
Curves, I was going to ask about him as well. I mean, I was telling Jamie just the poise that he showed on the pass to Bush Neighbours last night, scoring the first goal of the game. What is his ceiling for his career?
I don't know. You're looking at a kid that clearly could get 20 goals this season just because he's going to the front of the net, and then he had the sense on the power play to make that pass to Butch Neighbours. You know, if in the end, and the game, even from Braden Shen's rookie year to now, has changed enough that I don't think that you have to. I don't think you have to worry about fighting. I think he will do that a couple of times when need be. But there very much seems to be like a young Braden Shen in here. And does he have the ability to get you to 60 points, maybe 70 points on a given season? Yeah, if the talent's around him, I think he does. So. It's really quite impressive what he's doing because and guys, look at this. Like, and Jamie understands this. Guy, taking advantage of opportunity that's given to you. They started on the fourth line, and they were happy with what he and Sundqvist and Toropchenko were doing. And then when other guys, when no other guy on the right wing was performing consistently, he has worked his way up the lineup. And then even when Drew Bannister came in, Drew adjusted the lines, put Jake back on the third line. What's happened? He's had no choice but to elevate him again. Now, this case, even because of the injury to Kapanen. But Jake Neighbours is doing one of those things where he's making it hard for you not to play him more. You got to love that.
Curbs, based on what you just said, with Kapanen out of the lineup, and Cappy was playing alongside Shen and Saad, and Neighbours had been bumped down a little bit. At this point, when you're watching the games, it's not that Braden Shen and Brandon Saad aren't playing well, because they are. They've elevated their game too. But do you think there's a part of them that has been elevated because of how good Jake Neighbours has played as well?
Well, I would hope so. I would hope that when they see somebody like Jake doing what he's doing, it kind of motivates them, because as much as we talk about a team game, as much as we talk about team sport, let's face it, everybody's fighting for ice time, aren't they? I mean, you want ice time, you want to play, you want to be out there, you want to go. And when you see Jake kind of step up and get the opportunity he's getting, and he's taking your ice time away, Kapanen was playing very well, but Kapanen was not producing offensively. And I think you have to accept that with Kasperi Kapanen, you're getting a very good, hard-working guy that can chip in a little bit offensively, but I don't think you're going to look at him, for a lot of offense. It just doesn't seem to have gone that way for his career. So when a guy like Jake slides up, and then starts to produce, that puts pressure on some of those other guys. And that's that internal competition that a lot of coaches and general managers like to think is a healthy thing.
Yeah, do you think Drew Bannister has done a great job in being kind of cut and dry with his players? I mean, that was one thing that when Craig Berube took over, it was like, here, this is how we're going to do things. You're going to, I'll earn your respect, but you're going to have to earn mine as well. And part of that communication was just being direct. Do you see this? Do you see something similar with Drew Bannister?
Yeah, we're learning. We continue to learn about Drew Bannister as a head coach as things go along here. He's a lot quieter in terms of just his delivery, right, in terms of the media and stuff. But if you actually listen to the words he's saying, he's pretty much every bit as blunt as Craig Berube has been. The delivery's just different. I was told he went into that locker room after the second period and lost it on the team, and was pretty animated too. So, yeah, according to some guys, he's not afraid to get vocal, not afraid to yell. You just may not see that on the bench. We haven't seen a lot of it, but there was something in his comments last night, guys, and to me, it's like, man, he's a competitor and a serious guy. When he had a chance, when he was asked about the cross-checking, that Braden Shen put onto Pettersson before the winning goal, like, I'd like the National Hockey League to somehow explain to me how the Jake Neighbours cross-check was a penalty, how the Krug cross-check was a penalty, and the Shen cross-check was not. Like, if you're a fan and you're like, I don't get it. Like, I don't get it. Now, I'm glad it didn't happen, and there's maybe some justice there because of the way the Blues got hosed in that Boston game, right? But either way, that makes absolutely no sense to me. But when Drew Bannister was asked about it, and his comment was, well, I don't know. I thought there were a lot of guys going down awfully easy there. And talking about Ian Cole, you're 6'2", 220 pounds. You went down pretty easy on that bump by Jake Neighbours. I mean, instead of standing up for his guys, throwing some shade on the other team a little bit, I liked this postgame last night. So I think while different in his own ways, I think his directness and bluntness is much like Berube, very clear.
Kerb's great stuff. Appreciate you. Have fun tomorrow in Seattle, and we'll certainly be listening to the call right here on the home of the Blues, 101 ESPN.
All right, guys, have a great rest of your week. Talk to you a little later.
You too. See ya. That's Chris Kerber here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with Kerry Davis and Jamie Rivers and Anthony Stalter. More of your mic drops. Are you excited about this Cardinals upcoming season? I don't think we've gotten one that's like, yeah, totally. Outside of Andrew, who was talking about the summer.
Kerry's excited. Just ask him.
Kerry's getting yelled at by the 618.
Oh man, he's mad.
He's mad. Clearly, I can see Kerry's locked in too. Jamie, I see him pounding away at the keyboard here.
I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Kerry is has officially been baptized in the fast lane.
Yes.
When the 618 comes for you, you know you're part of the family.
He's
Kerry.
very upset.
Or your Cardinals mic drops next on 101 ESPN.
Dirt Cheap, St. Louis's one-stop party shop. They've got a great selection over there of anything you're looking for. Anytime I have a get-together, maybe it's a party, maybe it's a celebration of some kind, whatever it is, even if it's just a great weekend I'm planning, I head over to Dirt Cheap. They've got great beers, white wines, the red wines, and at Dirt Cheap, they pride themselves on having just a massive selection of all of that for you. And one thing that they have a great selection in, and what I'm a big fan of, is the bourbon. They've got great bourbon from Bullet to Angel's Envy to Elijah Craig. Elijah Craig small batch, by the way, a fantastic bourbon, and you get it at an unbelievable price when you visit Dirt Cheap. And don't forget to grab your Maker's Mark Snow Day. It's a private barrel selection that was selected specifically by Dirt Cheap. It's new at Dirt Cheap, but it's exclusive to Dirt Cheap. So please get by there and pick one of those up. Also, please download the app. The app has so many great savings and features and clubs and all sorts of giveaways. And it lets you know about raffles that are coming up. And you download the app and you can also order your alcohol online. Order it online, go pick it up, or the best yet is have it delivered by Dirt Cheap. But you can only do that if you download the app. So please do that. Visit any one of the locations. Tell them that Jamie Rivers sent you in. They love hearing that. And remember to always have fun, but be careful out there.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Blues pick up a victory last night in Vancouver, a 4-3 overtime winner. Braden Shen with the game-winning goal. The Blues will be back in action tomorrow taking on the Seattle Kraken. Pregame starts at 8. Puck drop is at 9, and you can catch all the action right here on 101 ESPN. We just talked with Chris Kerber, voice of the Blues right here on the Blues Radio Network. If you missed that interview, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free 101 mobile app. Head to the podcast page. You'll find all of our interviews and full shows there. And it's all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Tonight we have Heat versus Celtics. Pregame for that one starting at 6. And then on Sunday we'll have the NFC Championship game following the Blues and Kings game with the kickoff at 5:30. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, independent American Standard Heating and Air Conditioning dealer.
Am I excited? Not really, but bad baseball is better than no baseball. Will I make it appointment TV must see? No. I guess that would be a wait and see.
That was Sean. You know, I feel for guys like Sean because the Cardinals are breadcrumbing Sean right now. They're breadcrumbing.
What?
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
Toxic people like to breadcrumb you. Say, hey, I did that for you that one time. And then you think, oh, they're right.
It's a
and you
form
get just
of manipulation.
Exactly. You just get a little crumb, and then they tell you that they're giving you the full loaf. They're not giving you the full loaf.
You'll never get it.
No.
It's unfortunate.
I thought you meant like they're leaving breadcrumbs to lead you in a certain path to where you think you're going to get to the loaf of bread. I mean, I believe that's how it's supposed to be.
That's essentially what it is, though. Just leaving them. Eventually, if you keep eating it, you'll get there. It's at the end of it.
Anthony makes it sound like it's crack.
You think you're going to get the loaf. You're not.
It's not there. No, that's the breadcrumbs, though. They lead you to believe that if you keep going, just keep coming, keep showing up.
Right.
If you keep being here, eventually what you desire most will be at the end of it.
But it's not there.
What they don't tell you,
never there.
What they don't tell you is that the breadcrumbs are actually the loaf of bread. So when you keep following the breadcrumbs, you think you're going to get to the loaf of bread. The loaf of bread's gone. You already consumed it the whole way. It's been spaced out.
No, Jamie, no.
I think that's. I thought that's not how. That's
no.
You tell me there's a big pile of crap at the end of this rainbow?
No, there's no crap. There's no crap.
Marshy.
There's no loaf of bread.
There's no bread. There's not that kind of loaf, Marshy.
What I'm saying, guys, is that the Cardinals are telling us, hey, got you those pitchers. You're welcome.
That's what you asked for.
We're improved.
It's your grocery list.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
No, I'm not going to bring up the grocery list thing. I get it, Jamie. I get it. You're over it. I'll think of a new one, okay? I have no shortage of analogies.
I was trying to back you on
There's
that.
cars. There's houses.
What about tools at
tools
Lowe's?
at Lowe's. Well, I'm a Home Depot guy.
That's right.
Yeah.
You and Arthur
Well,
Blank.
you have to be.
We need a new head coach.
That's like NIL money for your guy.
Big time. Yeah. Everybody go out to the Home Depot because apparently they're interviewing everybody.
Give him a resume.
That's settling on the right way.
Must
right
be a
guy.
Menards type of team.
Pretty much. Pretty much. Is that candy? And groceries?
Well,
and power tools?
They have to be.
And lumber.
They have to be careful on how they select their coach now, Anthony, because shipping, the price just went up.
Yes,
for
that's
Home
correct.
Depot.
Yeah, they lost their FedEx
is now
deal. Anyways, so our mic drop theme throughout the course of the day is: are you excited about the Cardinal season?
Well, I want to talk about the text from the 618 because he attacked me. He said, CD, it's media members like you who allowed DeWitt and Mo to get away with garbage offseason, with this garbage offseason. And to that I say, if me, Kerry Davis, had the ability to make Bill DeWitt Jr. and Bill DeWitt III spend money in any way possible, There's no way in hell they wouldn't be spending on a 42-year-old, former fullback to do something. I don't have that power. I can't force anyone to spend. Give me $10.
No.
There you go.
I don't
And
have
I
it.
have a relationship. We're cool.
Yeah, darn right we are.
And I can't force you to do anything. So how in the hell is it our responsibility? You know whose responsibility it is, Anthony? If you don't like something, what do you do?
Well, it's your own responsibility.
Well, but if you don't like the product that you're receiving, what do you do?
Hold them at gunpoint.
No,
No, you don't buy it.
No? That wasn't.
No, Anthony.
You don't go.
Like you break a beer bottle and put it to their chest, remember?
That's
No.
right.
That neither. You just stop buying.
That's
you
right.
Karate chop him in the neck.
That's what Carey's
No.
says. No, Carey's right. Yeah, you don't.
No.
You don't buy the product. He's right.
You don't cause physical harm. You just don't go. If it's not right, you just stop. No beer bottles, no guns, no karate chops. You just stop going to that place. And guess what happens? That company doesn't make as much money as they are accustomed to.
Mm-hmm.
Then we'll never get another pitcher.
But you won't have to see it. You won't be watching it.
But people want to watch the Cardinals.
Not if they're terrible.
Well, they were terrible last year.
You just kept watching.
They're going to be average this year.
Well, if you don't like it, don't go.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, all right, so is Colson excited for the Cardinal season?
No.
Fair enough.
All right.
That's literally it.
Fair enough.
That was the mic drop. No.
That was brilliant.
All right.
Yeah. No, Kerry, you're right. You don't have to support the product.
You don't have to. If you're that frustrated, if it means that much to you, if you're that bothered by the lack of spending, and you're telling me they don't do enough, they don't care enough, but you know what? I'm still going to show up and show support. Well, then who's the fool? Seriously, if you are that bothered by it, then don't go.
Right.
And don't watch, because nothing else speaks volumes more than money. If you don't spend money and they don't make money, then there is no reason. Things could change. Now, you could have a crappier product, and now you're even worse off than you were before, but, at least you've kind of built up that callus to where you don't have to watch them as much.
Well, I think the point is, Jamie, that you hold more power as a fan than we do, going back to the original 618 text message.
Yeah.
618,
I agree with that. Now, I got to ask you guys an honest question, okay? And I'm not talking about like excited for World Series capabilities or championship caliber. Are you not excited a little bit just to see how these decisions turn out for the Cardinals? How Sonny Gray ends up. Marcia wasn't finished. How Sonny Gray turns out. What if Lance Lynn recaptures, just being a really good pitcher, and you got Kyle Gibson, Jordan Walker, he takes steps forward. We haven't seen them suck yet, is what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. So are we not excited a little bit just to see? And then if we're vindicated because they're terrible, then, man, boy, we will pile on. There's no doubt. But what if it turns out to be pretty good decisions, and then Mo's able to do something at the deadline because he realized that these kind of worked out, these decisions?
I said wait and see. Because you don't know.
But are you excited, though? To Jamie's question,
Am I excited?
Are you excited to see how this plays out?
I was excited last year. I'm going to be excited this year. And if it stinks, then I'm not going to be excited anymore. I'm not going to be held captive. I'm not going to be a prisoner of this St. Louis Cardinals team if they don't perform well, if the players don't do their jobs. I don't have to, you don't have to, you're not forced to do this or watch this if you don't want to, if it's not good. It's not a good product. Find something find things. Anthony, I believe in therapy, right? We are proponents of therapy.
Yeah, that's because we're messed up since childhood.
But you don't have to go crazy watching something That's making you go crazy.
Right. Yeah. You can unplug from the Matrix.
You can turn it off.
Yeah, like, you know
this
what?
is making me lose my... Turn it off,
All of a
man.
sudden, this isn't good.
Go find something else that brings joy.
Yeah.
Don't do it. That's it.
Jamie, I don't know how you feel. I mean, I actually am not excited about it. I feel duped from a year ago because I was excited going into last season, and I kind of overlooked the proponents of baseball that have the tried and true things that have always been there for offense. Like, oh, this offense, I think this offense is going to match. And then I started to squint and lie to myself about how the pitching will be fine. You can't have a fine pitching staff. And I think that that's what this is. I think it's better than what it was a year ago, but I think it's merely fine. And fine will not win ultimately in baseball. Do I think they can win the division? Yeah, but that's got more, in my opinion, it's got more to say about the division than it does about the way the Cardinals have built this thing. And I'm not going to get excited about the offense again. I'm just not going to make that same mistake.
Yeah. Look, I see both sides of it. I do, because I don't know what the hell to feel, to be honest. You know, there are certain aspects of it that I am excited about. There are other aspects that I'm just kind of curious to see how it works out. And there are other parts of it where I'm just downright negative about it.
Yeah.
So I'm really all over the map. And I've tried to, figure out overall what my feelings are, but it's more compartmentalized. Like, how do I feel about the starting rotation? That's where I have question marks. Like, I don't know. How do I feel about the offense? I feel excited about the offense. I do. I think Nolan Gorman, and listening to what he's done in the offseason, he seems like he's healthy, ready to bang out there. Jordan Walker, some of these other guys that they're going to contribute. Brendan Donovan is healing faster than he was before. Nolan Arenado's back to work with Matt Holliday and all those guys. So I'm excited about that. And then, what I'm not excited about is I'm really not excited about the bullpen right now. I really don't think there's been enough of a change to recapture what you once had as far as, like, once you hand the ball off, you're thinking, okay, we're coasting into a victory here. Like, I don't feel that way right now. So that's where I am with all of it.
I'm pretty excited. I think maybe midway through April that could change, but I feel like I got a lot of good stuff going on in my life right now. I need some chaos. I need some chaos.
15 games.
Exactly. The season was pretty much over at that point last year.
Yeah, about 12 games or so. Yeah, about 12 games. Marsh is going to change his tune.
I just need some chaos.
You may get
got it.
Yep. If you want to participate on our mic drop theme today, it's, are you excited about the Cardinals season? If so, why? If you're not, then why aren't you? Is the head coaching hiring process in the NFL, has it gone in a different direction than what we thought? I think the answer is absolutely yes. The new question is why. That's next on 101 ESPN.
Gentlemen, been watching the NFL playoffs, and look, if you've been watching already and you haven't been using FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, you still have time. Because new customers, you can bet this Sunday's conference championship games with $150 in bonus bets guaranteed. All you have to do, Carey, is place a $5 bet to get $150 in bonus bets.
Yeah, Jamie, FanDuel has so many ways for you to pick up the W. So if you want to follow our picks, just go to FanDuel. Anthony, what do you like?
I like the Baltimore Ravens.
Yes.
But I don't love the spread. I got to be honest with that. That's a tough call on that one.
Well, to get started, just take $150 in bonus bets. You'll get that guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. Just visit FanDuel.com/fast to join today.
What about like Lamar over rushing yards?
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
There you go.
See what the number is, though.
To hell with the number. Lamar's going to go bonkers on Kansas City. So as Kerry told you, visit FanDuel.com/fast. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. Again, visit FanDuel.com/fast to join today. Must be 21 or older and present in Illinois. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Am I excited about the 2024 Cardinals season? No, I am not. Anthony, you said something over the fall. Towards the end of the season, you said that this fan base was dying to send that front office a message. And you said the one thing they had to avoid was letting the fan base get apathetic. And I like the Sonny Gray signing, but it's just not enough. I mean, Lance Lynn, Matt Carpenter, what are we doing? No, I'm not excited about the season, and I won't be excited about the season. Yeah.
That was Luke. Appreciate the mic drop. Appreciate the reference. Yeah, that's a good reminder. You're right. I did say that. Send a message at the end of the year. You did. A lot of red seats. I don't care about tickets sold. I care about red seats because that sends a big message. And you had that. And then you go in the off season. And thus far, I mean, this is just a small portion of your fan base, right? Like, I'm not going to sit here and be naive and say that this is all of Cardinals Nation talking, because not all of Cardinals Nation listens to our show. They should.
What?
I know. Yeah, I know, Jamie.
I don't know.
They should, but they don't. But this is a portion that say, no, I'm not excited. No. Like the Sonny Gray signing. That was nice. Everything else, yep, Lance Lynn, that's going to be okay. But no, you're not excited. So you had a bad season and a mediocre off season, and you're going to limp into spring training from an excitement standpoint. And that's disappointing. It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Kerry Davis, Jamie Rivers, Anthony Stalter will continue to take your mic drops after the Gauntlet. The NFL coaching cycle has been very interesting, yet not the way anybody expected it to be. Now, Jim Harbaugh was hired by the Chargers late last night. But then this morning, it was preceded by Dave Canales being signed or hired by the Panthers. And I feel like this coaching cycle is like, hey, Jim Harbaugh could be available. Pete Carroll could be available. Bill Belichick could be. Bill Belichick is available. Mm-hmm. Mike Vrabel is available. Mm-hmm. Belichick is still available. Vrabel is still available. Pete Carroll, I don't know what's going on with him. And now you only have 3 openings left. Ben Johnson's going to get one of those. The OC from the Lions.
Who's left again, Anthony? Refresh me.
Washington, Seattle, and Atlanta. Those are the 3. And I highly doubt that. I mean, could we see Andy Reid retire? Maybe, but I doubt it. So it's likely this is it. These are the three left. And the question was, is this coaching cycle going in a different direction than we thought? Absolutely. But why? Why do you think that we're seeing some of these names go off the board that nobody had on their bingo card?
Very intriguing to try to decipher that. I don't know. Some names you weren't expecting. I didn't wake up this morning thinking Dave Canales would be the head coach of a football team. Mm-hmm. It wasn't a name that was talked about or brought up. The fact that Bill Belichick is not the head coach of Atlanta yet, when we thought all signs pointed towards that a couple of weeks ago, him going into a second interview, you assumed that Bill Belichick would be the head coach. But maybe there's I guess I can't have it both ways, because I do appreciate new coaches getting opportunities, right? Recycling coaches over and over and over again becomes frustrating, because there are other people as talented or more talented that have not gotten the opportunity, and now you're seeing that. So hopefully, we'll get some more. Now, like you said, Ben Johnson's probably. You don't think he's going to go to Atlanta?
I don't think he will. I think he's going to Washington. Yeah.
If I had my choice, I'd pick
101 ESPN breaking news alert.
Well, he's definitely not going to Atlanta, because Adam Schefter just tweeted out about 10 minutes ago, Falcons plan to hire Rams defensive coordinator Raheem Morris as their head coach.
Wow.
Good for him.
Holy smokes.
Good for him.
Good for him is right. He deserves a second chance.
A defensive guy, Anthony. You got to be thrilled with that.
At this point, after old FedEx, I'm fine with whoever can be an actually good head coach.
Like Arthur Smith's offense.
What's that?
What you call
you
it?
didn't like his offense?
Oh, his offense. Yeah.
What'd you think I said?
It was offensive, all right.
What Jamie said. Yeah. I'm shocked. I'm shocked by this. This also plays into what we're talking about, guys. So Bill Belichick is unlikely to get a job then.
He's out.
Because he did not interview with Washington. I don't think he's interviewed with Washington. We haven't seen it. And I don't think he's interviewed with Seattle.
I wouldn't count him out just yet. I just wouldn't. I could see a team now pivoting and going like, somebody else may have thought Belichick was going to be the Falcons guy. And so they didn't kick the tires.
Yeah.
And now that, the Falcons have gone a different direction, I could see a team mostly like Washington. I could see the Commanders really pushing now to try and establish. They don't have a culture. They don't have anything in Washington. It's been such a disaster there for how many years now? And all that crap with the ownership and the people for getting fired and removed and all that stuff that happened. Like, that's a franchise that could stand to have somebody who is a pillar in the NFL. A guy that, like, people know, okay, the Patriot way, whether it was Brady or Belichick, doesn't matter. Bill Belichick was there to create whatever it was that they believed in for a really long time. I don't know. For me, he'd be the guy that I'd be talking to.
Sure. I wonder what's going on. There's got to be something. And I'm sure it's something on Bill's part. Like, maybe he just isn't excited about the opportunity to coach one of these other teams. He's going to wait. He's going to wait a year. He's going to step away for a second. The dog might not want to move.
Like Bill's tight with that dog. It helped him with the draft here. You can tell clearly by where the team is in the standings.
Actually, you know what? Maybe I'll let that dog go to a different family because that was not a good draft. I'm saying let go.
Great dog.
Yeah, I know, but he'll be great in other households. Is what I'm saying. I don't think he needs to be doing the draft anymore.
I don't like where your head's at, Anthony.
All right, fair enough.
You get a dog, you commit to that dog. The dog commits to you. You don't just give it away. What the hell's wrong with you?
What if the dog's not good at drafting?
Well, then you assign it to a different department.
That's what I'm saying. All right,
not a different team.
We got the Gauntlet next on 101 ESPN.
Hey, fellas, it's Carey, and if you need to hear this, you probably want to hear this. Hear this about your ability to use the restroom in the middle of the night or inability to use the restroom in the middle of the night. Maybe you're a person waking up, straining when you're trying to urinate, a feeling of not being able to empty your bladder completely, a feeling of wanting to urinate, but you just can't quite get going. Well, if this is you, you could be suffering from BPH or an enlarged prostate. No need to worry. My friends at the Midwest Institute for Non-Surgical Therapy have the solution. Dr. Akinwande has the solution, and this procedure is minimally invasive. If you've talked to other doctors about what you may have to go through in order to get relief while you're trying to use the restroom, well, this is completely opposite of that. It has lower risks of complications, no hospital stay, no sutures, scarring, or general anesthesia, and it will give you relief from the uncomfortable symptoms that I mentioned above, all while helping you feel better and feel relieved after the procedure. Most men will notice a difference within a month or two, and the best part is covered by most insurances. So stop waiting, get going. Reach out to mintstl.com today to schedule your appointment. That's mintstl.com.
you master the Gauntlet.
Brought to you by Master, your hometown source for business communications for more than 30 years. Visit masstour.com.
404, your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler, with Kerry Davis and Andrew Marsh and Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter, and we welcome back Charles to the program. Charles beat Jamie yesterday in the first round of the Gauntlet.
Oh, I forgot about that.
And
Mr. 3000.
Mr. 3000.
Mr.
Yep.
3000.
I can't say anything. Jamie, I'm just glad I have company now with the Mr. 3000 guest.
Oh, man.
I just thought Ricky was better than he was, you know?
He's only the greatest ever.
Hell of a base stealer.
Should have been better,
Just not that great. Jamie doubled it. All right, Charles. Would you like to take on Carey, Marsh, or me today?
Take on Marsh.
Hey.
Oh, you got Marshy here.
Like it.
I feel like I'm
Okay.
trying to do it backwards like everybody else doesn't do, you know?
Yeah, no, people, you're right. People normally save Marsh for the end, I think.
I've only gone once so far in Gauntlet 3.0.
Oh, really?
Only one time.
How'd you do,
yeah.
kid?
I won.
Let's go.
Nice job. Okay, so you're undefeated.
Yeah.
All right, Charles, go ahead and tell Marshy to spin that wheel.
All right, spin that wheel.
All right, what are we hoping for?
Baseball was tough yesterday. I wouldn't mind football.
Wouldn't mind football. All right, Carey, you can see the wheel over there. After it gets done spinning, let me know.
We got football.
Ooh, okay.
You ask and you shall receive.
Okay, let's
Give me Peyton Manning questions. Let's go.
Peyton Manning questions. Is what he wants.
Scanning it. I don't think so.
I don't know if you're going to have that.
All right. Charles, as you know, but others might not, you're going to get 4 questions today, all football. Marsh is going to get the same 4 questions. Each of you have an opportunity to answer the questions without taking the options, and those questions are worth 2 points. If you ask for the options, no problem, but then those questions are only worth 1 point. Are you ready?
Let's go, yeah.
All right, question number 1. Which Texas A&M player who was drafted first overall in the 2017 NFL Draft is the only Aggie to ever be selected first overall in the history of the NFL Draft?
Oh, man. Let me do the options.
Jadeveon Clowney, Johnny Manziel, or Myles Garrett?
Myles Garrett. Final.
All right, Charles, before Bryce Young was taken first overall, who was the last Alabama quarterback to be taken first overall in the NFL Draft?
Options, please.
Is it Jalen Hurts, Joe Namath, or Ken Stabler?
Go Ken Stabler.
Final answer?
Oh, yeah, final answer, sorry.
No problem. Okay, question 3. Joe Namath played 140 games in his NFL career. He played 136 with the New York Jets, and he played 4 with which other team?
All right, you have options, please.
Sure. Was it the Los Angeles Rams, the Baltimore Colts, or the Houston Oilers?
You go with the Oilers, final answer.
All right, Charles, last question. Just like Joe Namath, Johnny Unitas, played the majority of his career with one team, the Baltimore Colts, and then started 4 games to end his career with which other team?
Oh, man, I'm a big Colts fan, too, and I do not know off the top of my head. Options, please.
The Kansas City Chiefs, the San Diego Chargers, or the then Washington Redskins?
I want to say it was the Chargers, so we'll do that final answer.
All right. Okay, we'll bring back Marsh from the cone of silence. Charles, how you feeling?
Oh, not good today.
Okay. A little older questions.
Yeah.
A little older. Let's see how Marsh does. Marsh is a young pup. So we'll see how he does here. All right. Marsh, how was the cone of silence?
It was good.
Okay. Carey, can you inform Marsh what he needs to do?
Marshy? Pack a lunch.
There we go.
All right.
Marsh, the wheel spun football today. Old foosball. Are you ready?
I'm ready to go.
Question number 1. Which Texas A&M player who was drafted first overall in the 2017 NFL Draft is the only Aggie to ever be selected first overall in the history of the NFL Draft?
First overall, you say?
Yes, sir.
2017. Man, it's got to be like a lineman or somebody. Let's take the options.
Jadeveon Clowney, Johnny Manziel, or Myles Garrett?
Let's go Myles Garrett. Final answer.
All right, Marsh, before Bryce Young was taken first overall, who was the last Alabama quarterback to be taken first overall in the NFL Draft?
First overall. Oh, wasn't Mac Jones? Wasn't Jalen Hurts? Was it Tua? No, I don't think he was taken first overall. Let's use the options.
Is it Jalen Hurts, Joe Namath, or Ken Stabler?
Oh, jeez. It's not Hurts. Let's go with Stabler. Final answer.
All right, Marshy, question 3. Joe Namath played 140 games in his NFL career. He played 136 with the New York Jets, and he played 4 with which other team?
Options.
Joe Namath, that is. Was it the Los Angeles Rams, the Baltimore Colts, or the Houston Oilers?
Oh, man. I have no idea. Now what you said when I was heading into the studio makes a lot of sense because these are all older questions. Let's go with the... Man, I have no idea. Let's go with the Houston Oilers. Final answer.
All right, Marsh, question number 4. Just like Joe Namath, Johnny Unitas played the majority of his career with one team, the Baltimore Colts, and then started 4 games to end his career with which other team?
Options.
Kansas City Chiefs, San Diego Chargers, or the then Washington Redskins?
I have the then Washington Redskins. Final answer.
Okay.
I feel horrible about that. That was terrible.
Makes you feel any better, so did Charles.
Well, I definitely got question 2 wrong.
What? What makes you think that?
Well, maybe the previous 2 questions I just answered.
Let's go over these, gentlemen. Which Texas A&M player who was drafted first overall in the 2017 NFL Draft is the only Aggie to ever be selected first overall in the history of the NFL Drafts? Charles, you said Myles Garrett. Marsh, you said Myles Garrett. Correct answer is...
Myles Garrett.
But... You both took the options. We have a 1-1 tie. 1-1 tie between Charles and Marsh.
It's the only one I felt good about.
Before Bryce Young was taken first overall, who was the last Alabama quarterback to be taken first overall in the NFL Draft? Charles, you said Ken Stabler. Marsh, you said Ken Stabler. Correct answer is...
Joe Namath.
Joe Namath. Joe Namath. Really?
Imagine that.
Joe Willie Namath. 1-1 tie. Question 3. Joe Namath played 140 games in his NFL career. He played 136 with the New York Football Jets, and he played 4 with which other team? Charles, you said the Houston Oilers. Jamie. No. Marsh, you said the Houston Oilers. Correct answer is Jamie.
Your Los Angeles Rams.
The Rams were the correct answer. So we still have a 1-1 tie.
Oh, jeez.
Just like Joe Namath. Johnny Unitas played the majority of his career with one team, the Baltimore Colts, and then started 4 games to end his career with which other team? Marsh, you said the Washington Redskins. Charles, you said the San Diego Superchargers.
Wow.
You guys both took the options. If it's the Chargers, Charles wins. If it's the Redskins, Marsh wins. And if it's the Kansas City Chiefs, Charles is heading to a walk-off for the second straight day. Carey, what other team did Johnny U play with?
It was the San Diego Chargers.
Charles.
You have chosen wisely.
I thought you were going to say the then San Diego Chargers. Charles, nice job. You beat Marsh 2-1. Total defensive struggle today. So you'll be back tomorrow to take on either Carey or me in the third leg of the Gauntlet. Congrats.
Awesome. I knew reading Johnny U in high school was going to pay off.
There you go. Certainly did today. Nice job.
I didn't get that curriculum in my time in high school.
We'll call you tomorrow, man.
Good job, Charles.
Awesome. Thanks.
There you go.
Good job, Charles.
Marsh, that was a tough one today.
No, that was tough. That was super tough.
The look on his face when Jamie said, Joe Namath played in. He was like,
Man.
All right, Blues get it done last night again. Jake Neighbours is somebody that Jamie has highlighted a couple of times, and why not? He scored the first goal last night, getting Carey on the board again. So Jamie's got 3 goals. Carey's got 2. Marsh and I still with a stout 1 apiece in the first goal game. But with Jake Neighbours having a lot of success right now, how does that impact the Blues, the future roster construction, maybe even the trade deadline? We'll talk about it next on 101 ESPN.
If you are looking at your car or your home insurance and you're looking to find a better rate, maybe you want better coverage, maybe you just want to go through your current coverage and figure out if you're actually paying the right premiums for it, please pick up the phone and call Tracy Bibb with the Bibb Agency. You're going to get that personal attention from your agent that you need and that you require, and she's going to explain things to you. I remember when I talked to Tracy Bibb for the very first time, I really didn't understand my policies. I didn't understand the coverage that I should have. I just thought, hey, if I'm paying a low rate, that's all that matters. Well, that wasn't the case. Tracy got in there and found out that I didn't have proper coverage. It was pretty scary, actually. I'm very, very fortunate that Tracy Bibb was there to have my back and to make sure that I'm taken care of, and my kids, too. She takes care of everybody in the family, and I wouldn't trust anybody else with that, and certainly wouldn't trust a 1-800 number that I have to call and reintroduce myself to somebody every single time I call there. That's just not what I'm looking for. It's not what you should be looking for. So please give Tracy a call today for a free non-committal quote. Her number is 314-328-4260. That's 314-328-4260. It's no fib. You're in good hands with Tracy Bibb.
I'm not ready for the season to start. I'm just like others have said, we'll send them a message. They're going to take the fans for granted. Well, guess what? It's time to show them what happens when they do that.
Tim's basically saying blank around and find out.
Yeah.
Cardinals.
But not what you three said. Just don't show up. Not violence.
Oh, yeah. No, I think we clarified
Kerry,
that.
we never suggested violence.
Oh, okay.
I mean, putting the broken beer bottle to the chest doesn't mean you did anything physically wrong.
Right. Aggressive, sure.
Technically.
It's kind of like the shock collar for a dog. It sends out a noise. No, it sends out a noise, and then it shocks the dog, right?
Yeah.
Then it gets to a point where when the dog recognizes the noise, it doesn't require the shock.
Yeah, no, Jamie's right on this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, quite honestly, I think we're being very helpful.
I do too. Yeah. Well said, Jamie. Speaking of Jamie, he said earlier today about Jake Neighbours that you wouldn't be surprised if Jake the Snake had a C on his chest in the upcoming seasons. When it comes to Jake Neighbours, his play, how does it change the future roster construction of this team, and how does it change things maybe even at the deadline?
I think it makes things really exciting down the road. Because think about this, Jake Neighbours, people thought that the ceiling was, including myself, people thought the ceiling was probably a third-line player, scoring you 15 to maybe 20 goals a season. Well, look at now. He's got 15 goals already. So to me, his play and the way he's developing has changed everything as far as the trajectory of not just the individual, but the team overall, because now you still have Jimmy Snuggerud. You have Dalibor Dvorsky. You've got Zachary Bolduc. You got Zach Dean. You have all these young guys, and this is not even getting to the Europeans that were drafted in the first round, which most of them are defensemen, but think about that now. Where you thought you were going to have a Jimmy Snuggerud play up in your lineup or whatever. He has an NHL shot right now, but what if Jimmy Snuggerud has the luxury of just playing on a third line to get started? Because you've got Carey, Neighbours, Snuggerud, and then player X on the fourth line. I don't know. To me, it really gives you the depth of roster that, quite honestly, the Blues are lacking right now. Mm-hmm. And I'm just being honest. If you look at the top line, that's a really good top line. Robert Thomas is an elite player. Carey can be at times. And Pavel Buchnevich, to me, is a really, really good player. Steady. But after that, for a while, up until Neighbours, Schenn, and Saad started to click and the chemistry was going, you had a drop-off there. For a number of games, you were relying solely upon the Thomas line to create any of your offense. Well, now that Neighbours has clicked with Schenn and Saad, now you have two lines. But then there's a drop-off again. So imagine having the luxury of not having the drop-off to where you have the Robert Thomas line that hopefully maybe you can keep together if Booch re-signs here. Then you still have Saad, Schenn, and Neighbours. And then maybe you've got Hayes, Snuggerud, and a Zachary Bolduc, or a Dvorsky, Hayes, and Snuggerud. Like, your lineup now is deeper. And when you look at the teams that are ahead of you, whether it's in the conference or just league-wide, they have three lines that can put offense on the board. Some of them even have four lines where you have to be very, very careful of who's on the ice at what time. So for me, it changes a lot for this team. For me, it lets Doug Armstrong look at the next couple of years and maybe slow play a couple of things so that all of this roster hits at the same time. Or he may be able to fast forward it too. Kasperi Kapanen, it's a great player. He's got great speed. I love him. I think he's a great guy, good locker room dude. He kills penalties very well. He blocks shots. Obviously, he's injured right now because he blocked a shot, and he's walking around in a boot right now. But ultimately, is he outperforming Jake Neighbours? No, he isn't. He's a pending unrestricted free agent. What does that tell you? You're going to probably move on from that player and acquire some kind of, draft pick or depth piece at the deadline because guys like Jake Neighbours have stepped up and not Wally pipped him, but just outplayed him.
Yeah.
So I think it changes a lot, man. Honestly, what do you guys think?
I really like Jake Neighbours. I told you, just watching him play, there's a point where, and Jamie, you know this, where the game slows down. It's like the weirdest thing when people say it because they don't believe that the game slows down. But it literally, it feels like everything is moving in slow motion, and you can make decisions quickly to everyone else, but to you, it's just it's as simple as what you do in practice. And I think when I'm watching him play, I talked about that goal to Buchnevich. You're right there in front of the net, and you had a chance to shoot the puck, but you realized the better play is passing it over to Buchnevich, a great pass, a pass that was easy to handle, and he could put it in the net. And when you're watching him play, it just feels like the game has slowed down so much for him. He's not rushed. He's not panicked. Even when people are trying to lift his stick and get the puck away from him, he's calm in the presence of chaos, which that to me is a very good player and a player that's going to get even better with more time.
So, guys, watching the game last night, and like it was late in the second period. I don't know, like it was a late game, so I'm not even sure if you guys were still awake for it. And understandable if you weren't. But there was a play last night where Zadorov, we're talking about how big and strong he is, and we know that he's a good player, good defensively. Jake Neighbours got the puck just inside the opposition's blue line, and Zadorov greeted him, closed him out right away. What Jake Neighbours did was he turned his back, protected the puck, kept his feet moving, opened up the feet, the hips, turned his back. Then Zadorov ended up like shoving him, and it helped propel him forward. Then they caught up to him again and went to play him physically again. And Jake Neighbours turned again, protected and shielded the puck with his back, held on to the puck, looking a lot like Vladimir Tarasenko used to do. And that's what I said last night in the broadcast. I go, you know, because my partner there, John Kelly, said, he reminds me a little bit of a Jaden Schwartz, which I agree. He's got that hustle, that energy and all that. But on that specific play, he was really strong on his feet. His skill level was high. He protected the puck great, and he looked like Vladimir Tarasenko on that play, because Vladdy used to do that all the time when he would be challenged defensively by bigger players. So to me, he's just scratching the surface still of what he can be. And as he gets older, as he gets bigger, as he gets stronger, as he gets meaner, he's going to get even more room out there on the ice, especially around the front of the net. Guys are going to be less motivated to try and get involved physically with Jake Neighbours, because his confidence with the puck is going to continue to grow, and his confidence physically is also going to grow.
That is Jamie Rivers, Kerry Davis, Anthony Stalter. It's Fast Line on 101 ESPN. Time to play Hot Take or Hot Garbage next. So if you have a Hot Take or Hot Garbage, you can send it into the Air Comfort Service text line at 314-399-9646. Again, we'll do that next in the Fast Line.
Listen up here. I understand that selling your home can be very stressful. The market is all over the place. You're not necessarily sure as to what the right time of year is to sell your home. Holidays just ended. It's the new year. Spring is here. Summer's down the road. Don't worry about answering those questions on your own. Call Gloria Liu with your home sold guaranteed realty. Gloria she's the best in the business. She's got so many years of understanding the market and helping sellers. And she's got great options too for the sellers. My favorite by far is guaranteed sales. That's where Gloria sits down with you, the home seller, and figures out a good sale price to sell your home quickly, and she gets you that price, or she buys the house herself, and she guarantees all that in handwriting. And why is Gloria so confident that she can sell your home? Because she's got years of experience, and she's got thousands of buyers in her exclusive database, and those buyers obviously create a higher demand for your property and more money for you. So please quit stressing out. Call my friend Gloria Liu and tell her that Jamie Rivers sent you. Her phone number is 314-325-6888. That's 314-325-6888. Or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. Conditions do apply. Gloria and the seller must agree upon the price and possession date.
ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Blues pick up a victory in Vancouver last night, a 4-3 win in overtime thanks to Brayden Schenn, who got the game-winning goal. The Blues will be back in action tomorrow taking on the Kraken. Pregame starts at 8, puck drop is at 9, and you can catch all the action right here on 101 ESPN. We talked earlier today with Chris Kerber, voice of the Blues here on the Blues Radio Network. If you missed that interview, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free 101 mobile app. You can find all of our interviews and full shows on the podcast page, and it's all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. We have Hot Take or Hot Garbage coming up next. So if you have a hot take, send it our way to the Air Comfort Service text line, 314-399-9646. Hot take or hot garbage coming up next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff. Find new roads and shop 24/7 at Londoff.com and LondoffAutoplex.com. Are you kidding me?
With Jamie Rivers and Kerry Davis, I'm Anthony Stalter. Here is Andrew Marsh with a little hot take or hot garbage.
All right, let's start off with the 636 hot take or hot garbage. Playing Scott Perunovich and Matthew Kessel more minutes than Falk, Krug, and Scandella is better for the Blues' future and also may give them a better chance at winning now. Quite frankly, they have played better lately, and the numbers back this up.
Yeah, it's not for the now, and the numbers don't back it up, unfortunately. Matt Kessel, yeah, he's played fantastic. He's played every bit like a top 5 defenseman here since he's been recalled. But there have been still some peaks and valleys with Scott Perunovich. He's moving the puck very well. He's looking good on the power play. Last night had a nice job there starting that play that ultimately led to the Pavel Buchnevich goal. But if you really watch the games, there's still some obstacles defensively in the defensive zone. There are some turnovers. There's some coverage issues, and there's certainly some size issues in certain areas that he just hasn't figured out yet. It doesn't mean he won't figure it out. I mean, smart hockey players do that, and he'll figure it out. But you're not better off just bailing on the veteran guys right now and, putting the rookies in and saying, this is your team now. This team is 1 point out of a playoff spot right now. I think your best lineup has the veterans in it, where you're still sprinkling in some of the young guys to get their minutes played. Unfortunately for Scott Perunovich, good for the team, but maybe not for him, is that Matthew Kessel's come up and played so well. And he's a right-handed shot. If Scott Perunovich was a right-handed shot right now, Drew Bannister might be more apt to put him in the lineup on a regular basis. I'm not sure if that could be true or not, but he does like the lefty-righty combination. I just think if you're going to bring these guys along, the way the Blues are doing it right now is the best way. You're too close to a playoff spot to just bail on everything and go straight youth and just deal with the consequences as they fall. I think you got to do it gradually the way they have so far.
From the 314, this one says, heartache or hot garbage, the Atlanta Falcons really made the wrong move.
Are we saying that because they interviewed Bill Belichick and they interviewed, everyone.
Everyone.
Kerry got a phone call at one point.
I was on my way.
Hey, you used to play for us.
Hey, on my way down there, and they said we made our decision.
Yeah.
So, okay.
So are we thinking that? Because I really had to slow down and think. And for those that don't know, the Falcons are reportedly hiring Raheem Morris to be their next head coach. Raheem Morris was the defense coordinator for the Rams over the last couple of years. He was also in Atlanta for about 5 years. I thought he should have got the job when he was the interim when Dan Quinn got fired midseason, because Raheem Morris is well respected. He was a head coach for the Bucs like 14, 15 years ago, but he was so young he didn't know he actually did a respectable job, but he's been waiting a while. So are we getting back to the statement? Are we just saying this because they interviewed Belichick and they interviewed Vrabel and they interviewed Harbaugh and they interviewed some of these other sexy coordinators, and you think, well, they screwed up? Because my mind went there too, but I think Raheem Morris is going to do a really good job.
He's a Super Bowl champion defensive coordinator. I think people kind of removed that because it was a couple of years ago, and a couple of years ago he was the hot name that everyone thought would get the job, and he didn't. And so you wait a couple of years, and now you do have an opportunity. Atlanta is I think they were a competent head coach from away and a quarterback.
Yeah, sure.
Just a quarterback away. They're still that. I didn't figure that part out. But other than that, they have a really good roster. You talk about it all the time. The offensive line is solid. The skill positions are solid. That defense, Jesse Bates was the big addition in the offseason.
He was incredible.
He did a really fantastic job. So they are set in a lot of ways now, but they still need the quarterback. And maybe they'll find that in the draft and get one of those really good quarterbacks that are available coming out this spring.
And I've always been the guy that's like, hire the offensive coordinator so that you don't have to replace the OC when he gets a job next time. I've been that guy.
Yeah.
Hire the play caller. And I've been saying that because when Kyle Shanahan left to be the 49ers head coach, I saw everything fall apart for Atlanta. I'm like, you have to have the OC. No, you have to have a guy like Dan Campbell or Mike Tomlin or whoever that is a head coach that can hold players accountable, hold his coaching staff accountable, hold himself accountable, hire the right people, motivate the right people. you need a head coach. So I think Raheem Morris is going to do an excellent job, provided they get him a quarterback.
From the 501's 8-year-old, hot take or hot garbage, we need to invest more in all-you-can-eat pizza buffets.
Wow.
You know what? Your 8-year-old might have something figured out.
Why isn't there more pizza
that
buffets?
Is a hell of a hot take.
It's interesting.
There was a place out near me called Pizza Street, and it was literally this buffet of different styles and kinds of pizza. And you go in there and you bring the kids and you hammer through dinner. It cost you a reasonable price, and they got all these different things. Then they had like all these dessert pizzas as well. I'm not kidding you guys. It was pretty darn good. I fully support this.
You get no complaints from me. Hot take. I'm all for it.
I like variety, so I think I'd be in on that. You know, one slice of this style and one slice of this style. Be good with that.
Yeah. They had one that was like an Alfredo pizza. It was like that white Alfredo sauce with the mozzarella cheese and nice crust. Oh, I'm getting hungry right now.
There was a place in the valley, growing up in the valley, the Old Country Buffet that I used to go
Old
to.
Country Buffet.
Just load up on the carbs before hockey practice.
No doubt.
Oh, man. Yeah. Great spot.
Old Country Buffet.
We had one in where I grew up at. That was a spot to go to.
An Old Country Buffet? Oh, yeah. Place is great.
Solid.
From the 217, hot take or hot garbage, the Chiefs will go into Baltimore and smoke the Ravens. Lamar Jackson has his worst game of the season under the brightest lights and does not live up to the playoff hype.
That's hot garbage. That's hot garbage. Here's the thing that I think the fact that Lamar is probably going to win the MVP, everyone is so sold on that and saying, well, if he doesn't perform well, the Baltimore Ravens have a very, very, very good defense. And if you've watched the Kansas City Chiefs play this season, you know at times they're a bit shaky on offense. So you couple those two things, I don't know that Kansas City comes in there and has a field day. They're going to make life hard on Patrick Mahomes as hard as possible. He is one of the best quarterbacks to ever play the game. But if you can get eyeballs and get guys on Travis Kelce and force him to throw the ball to one of those other guys, Rashee Rice is pretty good, but force him to throw it to everyone else, I like my chances if I'm Baltimore.
Here's where I'm at with the Chiefs. So if you go back to the start of December, they lost to Green Bay on a Sunday night. That was at Lambeau. Green Bay beat them pretty good. It was 27-19, but they were well in control. They lost to Buffalo the following week. They only beat New England by 10. Then Vegas beat them 20-14 in a game that wasn't even that close. If you remember that one, that was either on Christmas Day or the day before. And Vegas beat them. I don't even think they had a first down in the second half, did the Raiders, and they still won.
They didn't throw a pass. They didn't complete a pass.
That's what it was. They didn't complete a pass. So that was ugly. You lost that one. Cincinnati, Harrison Butker had a kick, I think 487 field goals just to win that one. Then they get Miami. Miami was frozen. They were dead on arrival. And then last week with Buffalo, I thought that the Bills defensively had no shot, and they didn't because of all the injuries. So that's what I'm saying is, are we sure that the Chiefs are like all the way back? Because I think at some point you got to realize, just like we did with the Cowboys, like, oh, the Cowboys had flaws all along. The Bills had flaws all along that presented themselves. Go back to the losers in the playoffs. Will we be saying the same thing on Monday? The Chiefs had the same issues throughout the year. We were just willing to overlook them because they looked very good in the previous two playoffs. So I think it's hot garbage as well.
Last one here from the 618, hot take or hot garbage. Because of arm issues, Shohei Ohtani's contract goes down as one of the worst in baseball history.
Whoa. Well, I'm going to say hot garbage on that one for several reasons. If Shohei Ohtani doesn't quite become the pitcher he once was or whatever, he can still swing a bat pretty damn good. And his notoriety globally will still make you money as a team. So I don't necessarily think that, they're worried about Shohei Ohtani not being able to bring in the revenue that he's costing the team at this point. So I don't worry about the signing. Shohei Ohtani is a competitive guy. You see it in him all the time. And guys like that don't become failures. Even if one aspect of his game is not what it should be, the other aspect will probably be very dominant, and then he'll continue to work at getting to at least a average to better than average major league pitcher again, so that at least he's useful at that capacity. I don't see this ever being a bad contract. Maybe the last couple of years, but are you really going to care at that point?
No, well said, Jamie. You're absolutely right. Now, I hope it fails just because I don't like the Dodgers. But my personal anger aside.
You're so angry.
Very. Well, at least I'm upfront about it. You know what's coming. But without that, or setting aside that, no, Jamie, you're right. You spelled it out perfectly there. They're gonna make a lot of money off him. He can still swing a bat, and I'm sure, even if he's not as dominant as he was from a pitching standpoint before the second Tommy John surgery, I'm sure he'll still be highly effective. Well, let's get back into the Cardinals mic drops. Are you excited about this upcoming Cardinals season? More of your mic drops on why you're not next on 101 ESPN.
The Morning After Daily Podcast, one of the longest running podcasts in St. Louis.
Great Michael Rappaport. Good, how are you?
Good. I'm better on the radio if I get a little Starbucks, a little juiced up. Trying to eat some good food, trying to do some good shows. Try to get a little vibe of the city. It's hard when you just pop in and out. But I'm
we call
excited.
St. Louis the garden spot of the Great Plains.
The garden spot of the Great Plains. And how did you get that name?
We got nothing else going for us.
Find the Morning After Podcast at tmastl.com. Brought to you by Michelob Ultra.
Johnny Londoff Chevrolet, they have incredible deals that they just continue to roll out in this new year. They've got savings on Equinoxes, Blazers, Silverados, and here are just a couple. You can save up to $6,000 off select 2024 Chevy Blazers and then the Chevy Silverado. I drive a Chevy Silverado. If you roll up there right now, you have the possibility of saving up to $10,000 off select 2024 Chevy Silverados. And credit problems, or you're worried about things, don't worry about it. Johnny Londoff Chevrolet is offering interest rates as low as 1.9% for qualified buyers. And you have to remember that the Londoff family, their goal is not just to sell you a car, but to make you a Johnny Londoff Chevrolet customer for life. I can attest to that because I have been a Johnny Londoff customer for over 25 years now. And you guys know I just bought another Tahoe from Johnny Londoff Chevrolet, and I couldn't be happier. Every single time, the customer service is spectacular. I'm so satisfied with the vehicle, and they just do an amazing job at Londoff Chevrolet. And the best part about it for everybody is that they have 2 locations now. The original location, Florissant, Missouri, we all know where that is, but they got a new one, the Londoff Autoplex, located out in St. Peters, right off of Highway 70. It's a beautiful facility. Walk into either location. Please tell them that Jamie Rivers sent you. And if you can't get there in person, get there online. Visit them at londoff.com or londoffautoplex.com. Are you kidding me?
Johnny Londoff Chevrolet.
No, I am not excited about this upcoming season, and I was a little excited until they signed Matt Carpenter. That kind of did it for me. I thought we were done with this guy, and now we got to have him on our opening day roster, and most likely he will be your opening day starting DH, the way the Cardinals do things.
That was Paul. I was not expecting him to go that route. That offered me, that provided me a chuckle. I was not expecting him to say, yeah, until we signed. I was a little excited until we signed Matt Carpenter.
I didn't expect that.
Yeah,
Poor
that's
Marp.
tough. Poor Marp is right.
Carey, how do you think he feels, honestly?
You know,
because I'm sitting back and I would hate to be, let's say at the end of my career, I did resign with the Blues. But I think people knew what they were getting at that point.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. How would you feel as the athlete? You re-sign with, let's say you re-sign with the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah.
You're at the end of your career. You know you're not what you used to be. And then you just hear people going crazy about how much they're so pissed off about
I often advise current athletes to not pay attention to the media. Don't listen to it. Don't watch it. Don't read it. It's one of the worst decisions you can make in life. You hear how terrible. You think arbitration is bad? You think that it's bad listening to a team tell you how you stink? Turn on talk radio and hear how bad you are.
Yeah, not great.
I wouldn't do it. I mean, I get it. I'm not turning it down if I'm him. You're not turning it down. If a team is still calling and saying they want you to play, hell yeah, sign me up. I'll play. But I think the question that most Cardinal fans is, what is his role going to be? And now he's not getting paid a ton of money, but what is the role? What does the roster spot, what are you getting from that roster spot that you couldn't get from someone else? And I think that becomes the question. And so, you know, if I'm him, I'm not listening to us. What the hell I listen to you guys for?
Yeah.
Hell, you know. How many fastballs have you hit?
Right.
None.
I've hit some.
Whoa, Carey.
Just
You don't
not
have
at
to
the big league
discredit
level.
us. What the hell?
I haven't hit a fastball. Not from not a 98 mile per hour.
Oh God, no. I've hit some fastballs in my time.
Man, throw a curveball at me, I might fall out of the batter's box. I don't know.
Yeah. Nothing close to the major league level, though. That's for sure. Jason left this mic drop.
I'm not thrilled about the offseason. I would hope for another top of the rotation starter. But at the end of the day, win or lose, I'm always going to be a Cardinals fan. I'm always going to watch the games, and I'm always going to go to a handful. Same with the Blues, even though they stunk it up last year. I'm still a fan, and I've still gone to a couple games. It's not going to change for the Cardinals, and at the end of the day, they still have a payroll near the top 10 for this market, so hard to complain. It's still been competitive most of the time, besides last year.
Thanks, Jason. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Carey?
Go get him. Like, you have confidence, man. No?
You didn't sound confident.
I just think, he's going to support.
You thought it sounded confident?
He's going to support come hell or high water, man. Yeah. That's what he said.
Well, that's why. That's what I expect from.
That's not what I heard. I heard him say, they stink, but I'll still go.
I'm still going to support him. Yeah.
That's your team, though.
He even lumped the Blues in there.
Yeah, he took a shot at the Blues. They didn't even do anything.
I didn't feel like that was necessary.
Kind of a ricochet.
A little bit. I understand it. If he was trying to hurt me just because I'm on the show today, that's fine. He got his pound of flesh.
Now, Jamie, don't start taking things personally. This actually fits perfectly with what. So Sean just tweeted at me. He said, "Do you think STL could be a major sports city? Example: NBA, NHL, MLB, NFL, or do you think STL could be a two-baseball town? NFL, NHL, with the expansion talk. Do you think the city could handle another pro team?" Absolutely, 100% yes, I do. I think it could be a major sports city. Now, from a sponsorship standpoint, you might run into some issues, but from
there's only so much money to go around.
That would be the one concern. From a fan perspective, Jamie, you brought this up earlier. We've worked together for a while now. I've always said if it is a homegrown team, you won't find a more supportive city. I will put this city up against any others. If you have a homegrown NFL team, a homegrown NBA team, look out.
Homegrown soccer team.
A homegrown soccer team. We just saw that. Just proved that.
Yeah.
You supported the Rams. You supported the Rams.
Until they didn't try.
Yeah. But if it were an NFL team, and I don't think it'll happen. Okay, let me get this out of the way. But if it's an NFL team, expansion, born in St. Louis, go blank yourself, San Diego. Absolutely.
You don't think the NBA is coming here?
I don't think the NBA is coming here.
I was thinking the NBA too, Kerry.
I would
really
love it.
was.
If it did, this could be this could be an NBA city. It hasn't been, obviously, but we haven't had basketball.
The Enterprise Center is equipped. It's renovated. Everything has been done. Like, they just put a whole bunch of money into that just a handful of years ago. It really is a great facility. It would take some wizardry to intertwine the schedules together, but they have the capabilities of doing it. They play basketball at the Enterprise Center all the time. They even have part of the NCAA tournament that comes through St. Louis here, and they've got they've got SLU that plays there at times.
Missouri Valley tournament.
Missouri Valley Conference. They come through there. The building itself would be equipped to handle it. And I think that there's a big enough desire for the NBA product in this area. Like, am I a huge NBA fan? No, I'm not. But that being said, if it was a team here in St. Louis, maybe homegrown, your expansion team, you get to know the players, you get to see, I could see myself buying into that more than just being a casual fan that just sort of watches basketball. If it was our team, I feel like I'd be more invested.
100%. Yeah.
I would love it, but don't worry about it.
You don't think? NBA, no
Why
chance?
you be like that?
No. Huh?
Why you be like that?
I don't know.
You get all quiet and negative on us.
You don't think people would show up, or you just don't? You don't think people would show up for a homegrown NBA team?
I would love if they did. I don't think that they would.
Oh, now I want to see it because I think you are wrong, sir. This is a hypothetical.
Sure.
Basketball?
NBA? I would be there. I would try to get courtside seats.
They would have to have like a preseason game here to see where the excitement level would be. I think they do that in Kansas City with hockey games.
They'd have to do more than a preseason game.
Agreed.
Because people would show up in droves for a one-off.
Yeah. I think they would support. It can't be a crap team. But
it's going to be a crap team if it's an expansion team, sir.
Can't be a crap team for 5 years. You tell that to the Vegas Golden Knights.
I will not.
You tell that to the Seattle Kraken.
The Seattle Kraken.
The playoffs in the second year,
they
too.
Did.
Yeah.
So did the Jacksonville Jaguars and Carolina Panthers.
There you go.
Yeah.
And look at them go.
Look at them now.
Exactly.
Still haven't won
One's going to be in London.
Still haven't won a championship.
No, Anthony.
Well, but they're supported.
Yeah.
Until wheels fell off. All right, back to the Blues. Last night they get it done, but have the Blues put themselves to be buyers at the deadline? Can they even be buyers? We'll talk about it next on 101 ESPN.
am excited about the Cardinals. I hope they have a good season. I think they will. They're going to be better than last year, be improved. Mason Wynn will have an improved season. Jordan Walker will be better. Lars Newbar will be better. I just think they're going to be better all the way around. Go Cards.
All right, that was from Josh. There you go. We got a little bit more of a positive one. We had asked during the mic drop theme today, are you excited about the Cardinals season? We got a lot of hell no's. We even got one just flat out no explanation on it. No explanation needed. Josh, though, said, yeah, I'm looking forward to some things. You can play the what-if game. What if Jordan Walker and Mason Wynn take that proverbial next step? What if Lars Newbar emerges? What if they stop blaming Willis Contreras for all the problems? I mean, there's a lot of what ifs.
Start there. Jamie, Anthony, Marsh, I think you all would agree with this, that it can't be much worse. So it has to be better.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it literally
if you look at it that way, Carey, if you look at it that way, no, it can't be worse. You're last place in your division.
There you
if
go.
If you look at it that way, it's going to be rainbows and unicorns if they play even one game better than they did last year.
and there you go.
Well, I'm not okay, Carey.
Well, I'm not okay. That's not fine, Doug.
Just get fourth, baby. Just get fourth.
It's Fastlane 505. Your time check brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. All right, Jamie, have the Blues put themselves in a spot to be buyers at the deadline? And furthermore, do they have the flexibility to be buyers at the deadline?
Yeah, I think they do have flexibility to a certain extent to be buyers. But I just don't know if that's going to be the mentality that the Blues take here. I mean, what would you be going to add to this team? If this team was right there on the cusp of getting into the playoffs or not, I guess I look at it from a standpoint, if we're being real casual about the conversation, what are you adding that you don't have already, that you can add?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to go acquire a 30-goal scorer. Well, you don't have the cap space for one thing, and who are you getting rid of at that point?
Mm-hmm.
And if you're getting rid of somebody who's a substantial player, aren't you robbing Peter to pay Paul then?
Yes.
Right? So these situations where you're a buyer is usually where you have an elite team or a team that's right there and you have expiring contracts that you know you're not going to be able to re-sign guys, just like last year. Mm-hmm. When Army was a seller, it's because he had these guys. Army could have been a buyer last year. Could have. If he wanted to take some of the assets that he had, let's say an Ivan Barbashev, and go and acquire another player, a defenseman, because the D was playing not up to standard. If you wanted to take Ivan Barbashev, package him with a draft pick, and go get a top 4 defenseman, maybe that, then you're buying and selling at the same time. But right now, I just don't know what the Blues, what they can buy with what they have to sell right now. Because you're going to need, if you're right on the cusp of making the playoffs, you're going to need these guys to get you over the hump. And I don't think the juice is worth the squeeze. So we always go back to, we talk about the Cardinals, we talk about other teams, but like, what are the odds of the Blues winning the Stanley Cup this year?
High. Oh, I'm sorry. I was answering a different question. Not very high.
Yeah. So why would you ruin your retool in order to maybe get into the playoffs, maybe win a round? Mm-hmm. Whereas if you play the game the right way and you have a team that can be competitive just kind of as it sits right now, and then you do move on from some expiring contracts, maybe a Marco Scandella is an attractive piece to a team that's looking to make a little playoff push, maybe a Kasperi Kapanen, and you're not going to get, not that you're not going to get much in return, but you're not going to get immediate players in return. Probably going to get a prospect or a draft pick. But again, you have to look at the litter of players that you have coming up through the minor league system in junior hockey. 7 players at the World Junior last year. That is nothing to turn your nose up at. And then you've got your guys that you currently have in the minors right now that are developing. Like, there's no sense in trying to limp in somewhere by getting rid of assets and screwing everything up is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, Kerry. I mean, when you're talking, when you're like thinking about where this team is, they're kind of stuck right now, mm-hmm. in that they don't want to mortgage the future for, as Jamie just said, to make to make a playoff run that they'll probably come up short. You need to understand where you are as a franchise if you are going to make some moves at the deadline that are going to mortgage some of your future.
I mean, I guess the question I would have, Jamie, is how could they? I mean, when you talk about all of the contracts and people being locked in for so long and the no trade clauses that they have, who could they? Could Nick Leddy be a person that they could move if someone were willing to trade for him? Because now you kind of, I guess, alleviate some of that defensive issues when you can put Kessel and you can have Perunovic and Scandella all in the lineup at the same time and no one is having to sit out. But do you remove a Nick Leddy because he's the one contract that is available?
Yeah, no, you don't. Okay, like here's the deal. Like who's available? Almost every guy who has a no trade clause is available. And hear me out here, because if the Blues approach them at trade deadline time, and let's say it's the Colorado Avalanche that are looking to add a defenseman for depth on their team, you don't think Nick Leddy's waiving his no trade clause at that point?
Probably.
Of course he is.
Yeah.
That's a team that has a chance to win a Stanley Cup. If it's Toronto Maple Leafs, and let's say Justin Falk is approached to waive his no trade clause at that point, and the Toronto Maple Leafs are right there. They're first or second place. They look like a competitive team. A missing piece, quite honestly, would be a Justin Falk. He'd probably waive his no trade clause to go to Toronto. But then where does that leave your team currently? So to your point, elevating Perunovic and Kessel and giving them more ice time, I don't know if that helps. I think the way it's happening right now, where they're incrementally earning more ice time and gaining more confidence, is the best way to do it. I think that if you remove some of the pieces that are helping them develop right now, the process could actually take steps backwards to where the players are overwhelmed at that point, and then their development starts to slow down to a crawl. So I don't necessarily think that just moving players to make room for young guys just to give them more ice time is the solution, especially if those players aren't ready to take on that 20 to 25 minutes a game every single night. And Kessel's played great, but again, it's a small sample size.
Yeah.
And what does it look like 35 games from now? Instead of just being 15 games in, what does it look like after 35 games? Scott Perunovic, we've seen what it looks like on a more regular basis defensively. Are you ready to plop him into top 4 minutes and give him 18 to 22 minutes a game? Like, I don't know if that helps him or it hurts him. So for me right now, if I'm the Blues, it's kind of status quo. I look at some expiring contracts. Apart from that, I put it in the hands of the players and say, you guys want to make the playoffs? Go do it. Because this is the group. That's it. We're not making any crazy deals here. This is the group we're going with. If we do anything, we'll tweak some minor pieces, but that's it.
2019 style. I like it.
Yeah, Anthony, I mean, why wouldn't it repeat itself, right?
It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. We've got our Sports Six Pack next, so if you have a question for us, send it into the Air Comfort Service text line at 314-399-9646. Again, our Sports Six Pack next in the Fastlane.
time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six-Pack is now.
With Jamie Rivers and Kerry Davis, I'm Anthony Stalter. Here's Andrew Marsh with your questions for the Sports Six-Pack.
Question number 1.
All right, gentlemen. Let's start off with the 314. What was the weirdest game day superstition you or a teammate had?
That's a good question.
Well, I had a teammate that needed to throw up before every game.
Really?
Which I thought was strange. And I was like, bro, why do you do that?
Big Ben?
No, he was running back. He's an interesting fella. For me, I don't know. I don't know if it was a game day. I would, if it was like a Sunday night or a Thursday night or a Monday night game, I felt like I had to go get a turkey burger from Red Robin. It was weird. I don't know why. Yeah. Did it once, played well, and from that point on, any night game, did it every single time.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, if you play it well once, you kind of...
I had to do it.
Yeah.
And it worked. I was like, okay. But I didn't have any weird superstitions. Like, nothing crazy. Jamie?
Yeah, I was the same way. I purposely, maybe this is the ultimate superstition. I purposely had none. Like, honestly, the only thing I did is when I played for the Blues for the first, 5 years, 6 years, always went and ate pregame meal at Bartolino's. Right there off Hampton. Bart Saraceno, the owner of the place, just an awesome dude. What an awesome family. And he, was so generous to let us come by there and have pregame meal, and the food was so awesome. But after that, man, it was like, I don't know, I used to get down there early, but I didn't leave at a specific time. I didn't do a specific thing when I got to the rink. I purposely wouldn't even look at my skates, let the trainers handle that. If they thought they need to be sharpened, I was like, just sharpen them. Don't tell me. Don't tell me they're dull. Don't tell me they're sharp. Just give me the skates. I'll go play the damn game. When it came to sticks, I didn't care about a certain pattern or anything. Heck, I'd use different guys' sticks for practices during the week just to see what I could do with it, have some fun with it. And I used Matthew Schneider's sticks for half a season one year, Jeff Cortnell's for another season. Like, none of it bothered me. So I don't know. Maybe like I said, maybe that's the ultimate superstition, is to purposely have none.
Have you heard Joey V's story about Sidney Crosby and the superstition?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of creepy.
It's funny, but we had
hilarious. But it's like Groundhog's Day.
Anthony, we're not going to do it justice. We'll have Joey tell it.
He has to tell it.
I think I remember.
Oh man, it's hilarious. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
Like every day.
Let's not spoil it. We'll have Joey. Next time we have Joey on, Joey will love to tell it.
Sure. I remember him telling it before, but now I can't remember the details.
Remember Jamie McLennan, backup goalie?
Yeah.
So Noodles, as we called him, and he got that name Noodles is because that's every pregame meal is what he ate was just plain noodles. No sauce, no anything, just like noodles and like plain chicken. It was just awful. But he had superstition to where, like, one, he couldn't talk to anybody. Like, once he got to the rink for game time, couldn't talk to him, and he'd place his gear all like perfect, like in his stall, like a goalie was sitting there, like pads, the pants, the gloves, the helmet, the jersey, the stick, all lined up perfect. And then, like, nobody could touch it. Yeah. And then he'd go walk around the bottom of the rink reading the game notes. And so I remember myself, Mark Bergevin, a couple other funny guys, Jeff Cortnell, like, we'd always go and subtly just change one thing on his little make-believe goalie.
Oh, no.
So, like, we'd swap out his game glove for his practice glove. So he'd come back and be a different color, sitting there. And he'd panic, find his glove. And then he would, like, evil eye the whole room, like, who the hell's touching my stuff? And you'd, like, meanwhile, like, what are you going to do? Like, like, come on. So we'd mess with him that way. But he was, like, super diligent about that. And so was Jamal Myers. Jamal Myers had like a spot on the wall where he'd put his Hey, it's fun stuff, Anthony.
Question number 2.
Well, speaking of the Blues from the 636, we talk about this team not having won a win streak. They have not won a win streak of more than 3 or 4 games this year. Given the last 3 wins, do these results change your mind at all? Do you think they could rattle off 6, maybe 7 wins?
You got to do it first.
Look, that's a big, that's a big number for sure. You know, what are they at right now? They're at what, three in a row right now. You get one tomorrow
winning
night.
streak.
That's 4. It is. And then if you play Columbus on Tuesday, it's not that that's a guaranteed win because Columbus fed you your lunch the last time. But if you can get that, you end up at 5 wins before the break. You know, for me, it's about a team that can rattle off 4 and 5 games before losing one. Win 4, lose 1. Win 3, lose 1. Like, if you can go in that pattern to where you're well above 500 in, let's say, 5-game segments, to where you're winning 4, lose 1 in that segment. So you can win 2, lose 1, win 2, and you're 3 games above 500 for that 5-game segment. If you continuously do something like that, you will find yourself in the playoffs.
Question number 3.
From the 314, would you guys trade a group of players for Shane Bieber and their closer, who I believe is Emmanuel Clase?
Yeah.
If so, who would you trade?
Bieber and Clase? Yeah, you're talking about a package that includes Gorman and some of your young pitchers, one of your top young pitchers.
Why haven't we heard enough about the young pitchers? Why we haven't heard much about like Tink Henson, McGreevy, Graceffo. Like, I'm just kind of
like in the offseason?
Yeah. What are the plans? I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good.
I thought about it.
Yeah, just because it's the offseason, I would say.
All right.
Yeah.
Hopefully they're here.
I'm glad we're not hearing about them, to be honest. I'm so tired of hearing about, these young pitchers, they're going to be in there competing for a spot. No, how about we just be quiet, let them get to spring training, let them show us who's ready and who isn't.
Yeah, that makes sense. To answer the question, it's gonna take a big trade package to get those two guys away from Cleveland. I mean, Clase is one of the best closers in the game. Bieber, I don't think Bieber is the same guy he was 3-4 years ago, but he's still pretty good.
In years.
Yeah, the guy's got to get back in the mix
Jordan
lab
Carey
there.
was supposed to be facing off, wasn't he? Oh, Jordan Bennington.
Oh, against the Beavs
for the All-Star break.
Yeah. You guys are thinking of somebody else, but
it's not the same person.
Nope.
Oh,
nope.
Relative for sure.
Nope. But yeah, it would require Nolan Gorman. It would require one of those young pitchers, and then some to get that deal. Would I be interested? Yes, of course.
By the way, Jordan Kyrou is a loud luxury type of guy. Loud luxury,
yes,
not
he is.
Justin Bieber.
Oh,
I hear a lot of loud luxury out of the locker room these days.
Is that like house music or techno or whatever the hell it's called?
Yeah, I don't know what you'd call it. Marshy, how would you classify that? EDM?
I guess it's like house music. I don't know. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of that type of music, but I listen to it. It gets me going sometimes.
You're our young buck here. You got to tell us these things. You got to tell us about the talk,
you're our resource,
the Instacart.
I don't even have TikTok, so I couldn't tell you anything about the talk.
Well, get on it.
I'll tell you that Rick Tocchet lost last night to this Blues, though. I'll tell you that.
Hey.
Hey-o.
Guess that information that Chief gave him
didn't matter.
Didn't
work
matter.
out.
Nope. Sorry about it.
Question number 4.
From the 314, how do you think the officiating was in the NFL this year?
Oh, it was brutal. there was a lot of brutal calls, brutal decisions. But you're going to get that every year. You're dealing with human beings. The game is fast. It's moving quickly. They're doing the best they can. We always have the benefit and the hindsight of having the replay that we can see it 987 times. They don't. But you're going to get bad calls. It's just going to happen.
I think they're called exactly how the NFL wants it to be called, like the roughing the passer calls, some of the pass interference calls. They have changed rules to help put points on the board.
Yep.
And obviously, a 6'3" defensive battle does not bring eyeballs to the television, but a 35 to 34, 38, 35 game gets a lot of people intrigued and gets them, watching. So the rules are the rules. Some of them I hate just because football has become extremely soft
in comparison to when I played. It's just some of it is football, man. People get hit hard.
It's a rough
like
game.
it's not.
Yeah.
You cannot protect every aspect of the game because it is a collision sport where men are running extremely fast at one another and they are propelling themselves into another human being.
Right, and they're only getting. You guys are only getting bigger and faster too.
It's not. You can't stop some of it. So some of the penalties have been, egregious, but it's almost expected at this point.
Yeah.
So, Anthony, to piggyback off of your comment of guys are getting bigger, faster, stronger.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the referees in any league right now, the athlete continues to evolve. Bigger, faster, stronger. Everything happens so much faster. Referees' eyeballs are the same as they were 35 years ago.
You're right.
Seriously, though.
It's a good point.
You can't increase the technology of the eyeball. The only thing that they've done is, I guess they have because they've brought in instant replay.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So we complain about instant replay, but quite honestly, it's trying to keep the referees up to speed with the evolution of the athlete at this point.
Well,
so you're going to get mistakes.
Let's get them LASIK. Let's get these guys some carrots. All right, let's go here. No, but you're right. It's a really good point, Jamie.
Question number 5.
From the 314, are a good majority of Chiefs fans becoming entitled and annoying like Patriots fans used to be?
So what's the key? What's the key to that?
A lot of winning.
A lot of winning.
Mm-hmm.
You do a lot of winning. Listen, America, we want winners. Okay, we want winners, baby. You start winning too much, though, we're gonna hate you. All right, that's just how it goes. So the Patriots, you won a little too much, you became annoying. Now we hate you. Now you're okay again because you've been doing some losing. Chiefs, you've been winning too much. We hate you. We're tired of you. That's just how it goes. So I don't think it's the fans. The fans just become more boisterous. You see them excited and all that, and.
Well, you see them more, too, because those games are featured more than all the times winning.
Yes.
And then let alone now where you've got Swiftie Nation following the Chiefs right now. Some people are probably super annoyed at that, the old football purist. Why are we watching somebody watch a game?
That's the thing, too. It's like, why are you mad at her for celebrating? I don't get that.
I don't know they're mad at her for celebrating. They're mad that they continuously show her.
I like Jason Kelsey jumping out of that booth last time, though. That's cool. Sweet. I thought that was great.
Somebody timed it. I forget where I saw it. Of course, somebody's sitting there at home with nothing better to do.
Right.
They timed the amount of time that Taylor Swift got.
Yeah.
And in totality, it was like 23 seconds. 23 seconds.
23 seconds I'll never get back. How dare you, NFL?
Think about that. They show her
I thought you were going to say
for blurbs of
23 minutes.
Blurbs of 2 seconds at a time. And then we get enraged by this. And she occupied 23 seconds of our life.
That's incredible.
They just need to. They need a hug.
We're angry. Oh, man. Speaking of the Chiefs, we got Chiefs-related question, the biggest question of the day, which is next on 101 ESPN. Jamie Rivers, Anthony Stalter. We called our guys Stewie because, honestly, Stewie, I want to report here. What's going on with the market? Where are we with the market? What can you tell people if they were looking to purchase a home?
Well, Anthony, it's purchasing and refinancing, and the important thing you need to know is don't wait. And this is not a sales ploy. I'm simply telling you what's going on in the markets. Interest rates are actually creeping upwards. Everybody thought they'd be going downwards, but recent economic reports that have come out shows a strong economy. Jobs aren't doing as bad as they anticipated to. That's less incentive for the Federal Reserve to lower the interest rates as quick as we wanted to. So we could be looking at maybe rates rising. The key is if you're in a position where you can refinance, don't wait for the rates to drop. Refinance it now. Take the cash that you need now. When rates go down, we'll refinance for free. Old saying, a bird in the hand's better than two in the bush. Same thing with buying a house. Buy it now. Get the price you want. When rates go down, everybody's going to try to buy that house along with you. You're going to have higher offers. You're going to have to bid more. It's going to cost more at the end of the day. Do it now. Pay a little bit higher in the interest rate. Refinance when the rates do go down. They will go down ultimately. The question is whether it's going to be now, 6 months, or 12 months. So make the decision. Do the smart thing today. You'll be happier tomorrow.
Always get great advice from our guy, Stewie, and he's always ahead of the game, and that's why he's always our first call. And he's got to be yours as well. And it's real easy. Just pick up the phone, call Stewie, or text him. His personal cell phone number is 314-324-4440.
Again, 314-324-4440.
Call him, text him, day, night, weekend, doesn't matter. Make sure you tell Stewie that you heard him on the Fast Lane. He loves knowing that he's helping 101 ESPN listeners. And, Anthony, if you can't remember that number, what can you do?
You can always Google the Bagel Loan. Thanks, Stewie.
Hey, guys.
NMLS number 226715.
ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Blues win in overtime last night over the Vancouver Canucks, 4-3 the final. They'll take on the Seattle Kraken tomorrow night. Pregame starts at 8. Puck drop is at 9, and you can catch all the action right here on 101 ESPN. We talked earlier today with Chris Kerber. If you missed that interview or anything from today's show, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free 101 mobile app. Just head to the podcast page. You'll find all of our interviews and full shows there, and it's all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. After the show, we have the Heat taking on the Celtics tonight. Jason Tatum for the Celtics right here from St. Louis. You can catch that right here on 101 ESPN. Pregame starts at 6. We have our biggest question of the day coming up next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
It's time for the Fast Lane's biggest question of the day.
All right, so here's the biggest question of the day. It was posed by Marsh earlier to us when we were going over the pre-show meeting stuff, and he said, could this be the final go for this version of the Chiefs? We saw the Patriots have to go through the transformation. They built different dynasties along the way. So is this the last version of this Kansas City Chiefs? I say no. In fact, I think they're already kind of going through it, because they haven't been known as a defensive team. You go back to that first Super Bowl, that win for them against the 49ers. Halfway through the year, we were talking about that defense costing Patrick Mahomes an opportunity to go to a Super Bowl. Lo and behold, they won it.
Yeah.
This year's version, it's a young defense that has become not the focal point, because Patrick Mahomes is still the focal point, but young defense, like your strength is starting to become defensively. And oh, by the way, you have Mahomes.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say no on this. Where are you?
I would say that's a tough question for me, because I think it depends on how this season ends, right? This is the 6th AFC Championship game that he'll participate in. He's been to 3 Super Bowls.
Yes.
Won 2, lost 1.
Correct.
And so it depends on how the season ends, though. If Travis Kelce, for whatever reason, said, you know what, I've had a great career, I don't know if I can do it anymore. You've already lost Tyreek Hill a couple of years ago, and you were able to still win a championship without him. I just think it could be you start to see the end of this version of the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, it doesn't mean that they won't be able to rebound, recoup, and regroup and get back to being a Super Bowl champion caliber team, but if they lose this game and lose it in a way in which you're looking at it like, ooh, it's kind of weird. Yeah, maybe.
What do you think, Jamie?
Yeah, I certainly think it's coming to a fork in the road, if nothing else, because you've lost a lot of players here. Your salary cap now, Patrick Mahomes is making that big boy money that up until recently hadn't really affected the team, and now it's a huge part of the cost of doing business for the Chiefs. To Carey's point, if Travis Kelce decides to move on to something different in life because he's beat up, he's tired, and he's done everything that he can do at the tight end position, then what have you look at your receiving core right now for this team? Take Travis Kelce away. You don't really have a running game. I mean, not one that you've established.
Isaiah Pacheco?
You don't. Yeah, okay, but you still haven't really established that. That's not your bread and butter. Let's just put it that way, okay? No, I won't. Then you'd look at your receivers. Hardly any of them can catch except the last name Kelce out there.
And Bryce.
Rice catches the ball.
Rice.
Okay.
He's coming along.
Okay, guys. You hanging your hat on that, Anthony? Go ahead. You go do that. Travis Kelce, let's say he leaves. This team's in trouble. They have to do damage now because what are they going to sign in the offseason? Have they drafted and developed young receivers right now? The defense has been good. It's been a nice focal point of this team. But I'm sorry, to me, this is a fork in the road right now, to where your quarterback makes so much damn money that you're not going to be able to really go put the pieces around him unless you get really super creative. And what that looks like, I don't know.
I don't know. I think that
all good things come to an end, Anthony.
Certainly, but when you have Mahomes, you have the ultimate cheat code to get right back into the game.
Well, tell that to the receivers that he's throwing it to, because they didn't download that cheat code.
They didn't have receivers last year, and they won a Super Bowl.
Yeah, these receivers don't catch the football, Anthony.
Rice catches the football.
Let's just go back to the Patriots, guys. Let's go back to the Patriots. Tom Brady left the Patriots. There was a reason he left at that point. Whether he was tired of Uncle Bill, tired of being in, the Patriot way, whatever. He also looked at the roster guys and went, oh my, I've spent the last couple of years passing to nobody as it was. Now I'm really going to pass to nobody. He moved over to the Buccaneers. He had instant success because they had the pieces there. Patrick Mahomes is a fantastic quarterback. He's one of the greatest to ever play the game, okay? But if he has nowhere to send the ball to, he can only do so much. Anthony, your guy, Marcus Mariota, tried to pass the ball to himself. It wasn't very successful. Okay?
He did it once.
He did.
At Arrowhead.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, but it wasn't a great game plan, okay?
It's not the best.
So if I look at Patrick Mahomes, he can't run a post pattern down the middle of the field and catch the ball he's throwing.
I don't understand what I'm hearing right now. Patrick Mahomes can do anything in a football field. He's never tried to throw himself a post pattern. He probably would complete it. It's Patrick Mahomes, guys. I really don't understand what I'm hearing from you guys right now.
Here's the problem.
I'm done with this guy.
He's one man. Can only do so much.
Tom Brady was only one man.
Yeah, he had a few guys.
He was a hell of a man.
I don't recall. Well, you know what Giselle did say? He can't throw the ball and bleep it catching himself after the Super Bowl loss. So
She did say that.
I guess there was.
She never believed in him, and now where are they?
Yeah,
I don't think that's how that worked. I don't think. Yeah.
Never believed in the guy.
He's had a pretty good life.
It surprised me that things went the way they did. All right, it's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. I'm just done hearing you guys slander Patrick Mahomes. Doesn't make any sense.
And you're just paddling up there by yourself. It's
Not one bit. That's fine. I'll go to that island.
At least provide a good argument to counter it.
You want a good argument? It's Patrick Mahomes.
That's right. Good one, Anthony.
All right.
It's called giving up.
Bet the board next on 101 ESPN.
Hey, how's it going? It's Kerry Davis. And if you are a contractor or a business that needs recycling, well, let me tell you about my good friends over at Scrap Mart Metals. They are tailor-made for your business to meet your schedule and your budget. Job site cleanup for contractors can be a mess. You need to set up a business account with Scrap Mart Metals to recycle that metal. It's one less thing you have to do during cleanup. You'd be amazed how scrap metals add up and can help your business's cash flow. If you own heavy equipment, you know it's frustrating. Often the repairs are there, and eventually the time will come when you have to get rid of it. Scrap Mart Metal will come get it for you. They'll haul your equipment to one of their locations and get you a check the same day. Or if you're one of the do-it-yourselfer kind of guys or gals, well, they have 3 convenient locations: Valley Park, Peevely, Jonesburg. If it's metal, they will buy it. It's recycling made easy. They offer convenient drive-on scale, and they have the highest payout and will always get you the top dollar for those scrap metals. Just visit scrapmartmetals.com. My guy Lucas can get you started with a business account to get you going. Scrapmartmetals.com. Let them know the Carey sent you.
missed anything from today's show, you can always download the podcast available at 101ESPN.com or your 101 ESPN mobile app. All brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. We had a mic drop theme today. Are you excited about the Cardinals season? I think it went about as well as we thought it was going to go, right?
Yeah, we're excited, Anthony.
There's a couple people that, one that said they were, and the rest not so much.
Colton said no.
Flat out no on that one. Also talked about the Blues win last night, chatted with Chris Kerber, talked about how Bill Belichick might not get a job, which is kind of strange as the head coaching spots continue to fill in the NFL. Today you had Dave Canales.
Anthony, if he doesn't like it, he should be a better coach.
Good point. The recent track record has not been good, Carey.
Just overall.
You go beyond that.
In general,
yeah.
If you want to be a head coach in this league, you got to be a Super Bowl champion, and he clearly is done it 6 times.
Yeah, just not recently, though. Jim Harbaugh won a national title, Carey. I mean,
and he immediately got a job.
You put
Anthony.
Belichick up against
what
Harbaugh.
What have you done for me lately?
Exactly. No,
I think we are where we are.
Listen, stop. That's a great point. That's a great point. Jamie's mic isn't on. We got him. There we go. Hey, you're up.
Hey, am I back, guys?
You're back.
We got you.
All right. I said, can you imagine the Spygate going on between Harbaugh and Belichick?
Wow.
They might as well just hand each other their playbooks.
Here, you're going to get it anyways. Don't worry about it. You don't have to go through
There
all
you
that.
go.
Yeah, here you go.
Hey, may the best man win. Here you go.
You figure out whether or not this is real. Here. All right, time for Bet the Board.
Are you ready?
101 ESPN. Yeah.
To go over our picks from yesterday.
Yes.
No.
Let's start off with the Winnipeg Jets. Tight one against the Toronto Maple Leafs. They lost.
That was Jamie's pick, right?
That was Jamie's pick.
So Jamie has how many points?
He's still at 8. 8 and 5.
Jamie.
8 and 5.
I had my chance last night.
Let's go to Carey as the Illini went to overtime with Northwestern.
Minus 2.5. And they lost.
And they lost.
Lost out.
Tough scene.
CD's at what, 5?
He is
6 and 7.
6.
Yes, 6 and 7.
6 points for Carey.
Connor Garland. No points. I am now 7 and 6.
Marsh still 7.
And to
7's the number.
Get his record up to 6 and 7.
Right.
Congratulations, Anthony Stalter, the only one to hit on his play yesterday. The Florida Panthers over 3.5 goals. They scored 6.
Felt pretty good when they scored a minute and a half in to the first period.
Melka was diving out of the way. Did you see that game?
Dude, terrible.
Dude, it was like he was blindfolded on 2 of these goals. He made a glove save, but the shot went to the blocker. I was like, what is going on here?
When I saw the line was 3.5, and I was looking at his statistics, I was like, he gave up 6, 5, 7. Yeah, I'll take the Panthers to score 4 goals
man.
here. Yeah. All right, Jamie, you're still the leader in the clubhouse. Go for it, man.
Yeah. Okay, so I've seen a team here get a little bit of a bump here recently, if not in the standings, but certainly their style of play. And the New York Islanders, they got a new head coach. His name's Patrick Waugh. I don't know if you ever heard of him before.
No.
Pretty successful goaltender.
Patrick Roy?
He made most of his starts and won most of his games playing for a certain team called the Montreal Canadiens. Well, the New York Islanders visit the Montreal Canadiens tonight. Patrick Waugh is not losing that game. I can tell you that right now. Islanders are at minus 148. I've got the Islanders.
Okay, Jamie with the Islanders.
Once an Islander, always an Islander.
That's true. Jamie Rivers of the New York Islanders.
Once a Canadian, always a Canadian. Oh, well.
You know what? Most nights it's not going to work out, Jamie. So you're going to have both teams. Marsh, you're second, so go for it.
I'm going to go with the Stars and Ducks over 6.5 goals tonight.
Oh, over 6.5. All right, Carey.
I'm sticking with basketball. That seems to be my thing. I'm going to go with the 76ers minus 4 over the Indiana Pacers.
All right.
Joel Embiid put up 70. I mean, just do that again. It shouldn't be that hard.
Good, yeah.
Not asking much.
All right, so last night I attacked a backup goaltender from Arizona. It worked out well. Tonight I'm gonna attack the backup goaltender for the Columbus Blue Jackets. Tarasov is this guy's name? Tarasov?
Yeah. Tarasov.
Yeah, he's been awful. 7 goals he allowed, 5-4. Somehow only gave up 2 to the Flyers, but that was a couple of weeks ago now. So give me the over 3.5 goals for the Calgary Flames tonight. Over 3.5 for the Calgary Flames at -125. So there's your bet the board selections. All right, Marsh, what do you got for criticisms and compliments?
Yeah, from the 573, you guys are great to listen to on the way home, but if you ever have a Chiefs question, I got your answer.
Appreciate that.
Okay. What is it? Oh, he just means in the future.
Well, yeah, if we have a question, send it his way.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
So,
are they going to win this weekend?
Nope.
I'm not asking you. I'm asking our Chiefs guy.
I was going to answer for you.
Yeah, we have our own Chiefs insider now.
Well, that
just offered his services.
I could be wrong, but it might be a little bit biased.
Well said.
Right?
Might be a little bit biased.
What are we doing here?
No? You don't think?
Yeah.
No, I expect him to be pro about it. If he's going to offer his services as a Chiefs guy.
Ask again.
Ask him again?
Yeah.
Okay.
573.
573. Are they going to win this weekend?
You'd let us know.
Yes.
Yeah. I won't say anything.
It's not personal. I
won't say anything. Okay. Leave it alone.
This next one's from Day Drinking Brian in the Snake Pit. Next time it's Black Muscle Shirt Thursday, Carey needs to get a large, not an XL. I didn't get the memo today. Everyone's wearing a black
the only one.
T-shirt.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we all are.
Yeah.
No, this is dark green, guys.
Green?
Or whatever you want to call it.
Blue.
Whatever. Listen.
I'll give you blue.
Yeah,
like a
I'm
navy
definitely
blue.
not going to give you
Green. No.
Look
That's black.
It's a navy blue. It's not black, Kerry. I can tell you that much.
I'll give you navy
It looks
blue.
black.
Look
Well,
at
you know
that
what? Here
tone
it
of
does
green.
look greenish. It's like I don't
That's
know what
right.
color that is. But on there, it looks.
And you buy these in a. You buy this in a medium, so you look buff.
Jamie's got that figured out.
All right, now it's time for
our shirt back to her soon.
Our 3 stars of the day. We're going to give the 3rd star to Billy of the Snake Pit, who is diving into some Woodford Reserve tonight.
Yeah, Billy, nice job.
So a nice little night for Billy.
Good. Heck yeah, he's got a good night coming up. That's for sure.
Our 2nd star of the day goes to Jamie's ripped pants.
Yeah, Jamie ripped them pants.
That's right.
Missed the first hour of the
Pantsless in
show.
Seattle, boys.
Yeah.
Bust right out of them.
Yep. He likes them nice and tight, so they rip. So they rip perfectly.
Thank you. Well said.
Our 1st star of the day, however, on January 25th, 2024, here in the Fast Lane, goes to the nail in the sauna that ripped Anthony's pants.
There you go. Nice.
Oh, I didn't know we had an Anthony pants list.
Yeah, so we talked about you ripping your pants. That's why you weren't on the first hour for the first hour of the show. And I had asked these guys, like, hey, did you ever rip your pants? And then it dawned on me. I was at the gym many years ago, and I was sitting there in the sauna, trying to get warmed up for the workout, and I stood up.
Wait, yeah.
Stood up. Some nail got me. This is the last time I worked out there, Jamie.
Man,
I'm not going to get tetanus from that place.
That's unsafe.
No, it's not.
Imagine that.
Come on, hammer that thing
It's in
down.
the sauna. It had to be a rusty nail.
Exactly. Right. Exactly.
I'm glad you survived.
Thank you, Jamie. All right, that'll do it for us. For Andrew Marsh, Jamie Rivers, Kerry Davis, I'm Anthony Stalter. Appreciate everybody listening and watching today. See ya.